Record.
Okay, so Breck, you got the Constone?
Yeah, I have to gunstone.
All right.
Doesn't sound very ethical.
I was going to say that really requires proper enunciation.
Wait, why do you have the con stone?
Oh, because I had it attuned to me, and I gave it to Breck because he didn't have one of the power stones or infinity stones.
And then
whatever they are.
took the wisdom one off Nom Nom because it's pretty powerful
did
weapon
not
for
do
a
that.
non-entity to have. Oh, you did not do that? Okay.
I can. I just haven't actually done it yet because I was looking, and it is an attunement, and I don't see anything that would help me with wisdom at all.
Yeah.
Alright,
Fair
I'm
enough.
definitely not wise, and I've got nothing for wisdom skills.
I prefer next time, Soap, that you guys tell me you're stealing stuff from Nom Nom. So I'm aware of that.
thought you were
like I
here,
said,
but then you weren't here.
I didn't. Yeah.
No, I'm not
Not
talking
yet.
to
I didn't.
you, Kobo. I'm straight up saying Gatho said, and we took stuff from this one character that we have no control
Yeah.
over. Like, I'm fine with
dead
it. I just need to know
stuff.
this information.
Okay, so apparently we haven't even done that, so I'm just talking on my butt.
Ooh, what's my alignment?
Whatever you decided to be?
No, because that got changed on me at some point.
No, it didn't get changed on you. You were given one of the madnesses that we all had, but it was cured by Nom Nom, so everything went back to copacetic.
What?
Right now,
What?
the only one that
We have-
has
we
madness
have
is
madness?
Brat, technically.
Ah!
And it's not even high enough that strange little ticks show up. Right,
This
anyway.
is the first time I've gone up a level and gone down in hit points. That's pretty cool.
Okay, I already started doing the thing, but it really doesn't matter. Knowing this team, we would have been here for this time anyways. Okay. As the team moves forward to the next stage of events, you've managed to inquire about their sorcery. After almost getting thrown out of the city, your team was more or less saved by bureaucracy. Having Benray, the house that more or less the current person that you were trying to find their grimoire from, wanted to more or less put everything underneath the rug, decided to use you as people, third-party individuals. As if they intervene, it's possible things would have looked suspicious. Being close to some of the members of the Spider Council, she is more or less used that to get you guys out of trouble, to get Kobo mainly back in the city, and for you all to enter in the sorcery without too much of an issue. Or at least to cause any issue. She did give you more or less subtle, if not complete, clues on potential traps in the area, as well as, they haven't found whatever probable cause or reason, and her brother is still nowhere to be seen. And she suspects they are no longer in the underground, or at the very least the city. There is more or less a story being told that, they're currently investigating the situation at hand. No one really knows what summoned the demon lords here, but he is more or less the frontmost person looking for things, and that explains to everyone else why they aren't here. You guys already know that they screwed up on a summon thing, and well, it brought everything down here, but you don't really know completely why. It has something to do with Lolth, but that's really all you know. Getting through sorcery, you immediately had a little bit of power, so you decided to try to flaunt it over people, and well, that didn't really go your way. Instead, you guys have eventually found maps leading to the room you were looking for, and this one slave individual that you guys decided to, have you lead you there. Surprisingly enough, no one got hurt. I will state, though, that individual person, moves around certain things. So potential encounters where death was possible, you just avoided. I think Brack's the one that found them. Either way, I think they're there. I forgot their name. I'm going to call them Maya. But Maya was able to assist you with a few things, telling you that some practitioners guard their doors. And with, honestly, the help of Toulouse, and boom, you managed to not set anything up, which was, again, surprising. You eventually found a few things that you took, a few others that you didn't because they would look suspicious, and then found the grimoire after speaking with Well, you believe someone imprisoned by, I was going to say Bronner, but that made no sense. I don't remember his name. But that dude that you guys know, Grumph, and well, decided not to free them because, everything didn't really add up and decided to not free them because they've been there for months. What have they been eating? And for some reason, Kobo just mentioned, like, where would they be pooping? And that was your, like, weird intuitional thing. It does make sense, but it's
Also,
still weird.
Somebody rolled
Yeah.
really good on insight. So
Yeah, Gothos, I believe.
Well, yeah. And I was gonna say,
somebody.
well,
It
it
could
was
have been
both
anyone.
eating and it was both eating and pooping. It's not like I was only thinking about poop.
Yeah, but it's
They
still
were
weird that
eating
it
poop.
came up. I understand eating, but, like, that is implied within the eating spectrum.
Well, yeah, the eating is just fueling up for the other things, so they're
It's
still the
weird
same
how-
thing, basically.
Either way,
Weird how none of our characters has ever pooped on screen.
you're all
Oh,
just
that
doing that in
changes
the background. It doesn't need to be stated. That being the case, though, with everything found and discovered, presumably, you were left with one final task, and that was leaving the Dark Heart Talisman within the city walls. And honestly, truthfully, whether or not you're going to do that, there are potential risk factors in the area, damning people that don't need to be damned. At the exact same time, getting rid of a lot of mean people might assuage you from not doing it. But I'll leave that up to you. This is the situation at hand. You have yet to re-enter into the Sanctum Sanctorum of Grumph. You are in that little demi-plane area. What do you guys do?
Well, I have another reason why we should leave the amulet here.
You guys have been murdering people a lot. That's just really not
Well,
surprising.
no, it's not even the moralistic that, yeah, there are some innocents, because innocents are going to die everywhere, like Boom had said just a few minutes ago. But if 3 kaiju show up here in Menzo Branson, even though we don't like them, we have backup in the form of a whole drow army of magic users and stuff to be attacking them as well. It's only good for us if it's going to be attacking the bad guys, right?
Antidote does state potentially, but we're not exactly sure what it'd be attacking. It's just going to likely attacking each other, and then everything around, presumably.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
if they're attacking each other and everything around, and the drow are all attacking to kill all 3 of them to save their city, then it's damaging them even more. It ups our odds of succeeding, you see.
Yeah, there is
Couple of
something to be
things.
said.
Just right off, how do we know the demons are going to fight each other? 2 of them came here to get married. All the houses in Menzoberranzan are exceptionally selfish, so they're going to wait out a little bit to see if some other house they don't like gets wiped out first. So they're not going to fight together.
Antidote does state more than likely those in power don't like, to share it. Demon Lords in particular, from what I've read, are one such example. The whole wedding thing is very rare to encounter. And more than likely, taking the chance of doing this, they're likely going to do this. If they find something else that could benefit them even greater, they likely won't wed if they find something of that nature. That being the case, though, this is just an assumption. I don't really know what they're thinking, and more than likely, if they don't like each other, they are likely going to try to kill each other, and anything in the way will likely get trampled.
Now, Gothos, to address your point, yeah, maybe the other houses won't help, but chances are the one getting smashed might actually have a vested interest in fighting back. That's still more people fighting those things than just us, which, as far as I know, up until this point, we've been working on that assumption that we may have to,
Not only that, You smash one house, they're going to move to the next. They're going to raise the whole city. So even if the houses aren't fighting together in a coordinated fashion, they're going to be fighting in their own pockets.
Yeah, I think you're looking at this from the wrong direction. Instead of looking who is losing, we should be looking at who is gaining.
We are
Good.
gaining by getting people to fight the monsters. If they're fighting
Uh,
each other as well as the drow, then that's even better.
No, I mean the houses. Who is to gain from all of this madness?
Well, if we don't put the things
None
in
of the
here,
houses.
all of them.
Yes.
They
all of
they literally
none of
worship
the
the Lady
houses.
of Chaos.
Yeah, but none of the houses have anything to gain because all of the houses will eventually be destroyed if they don't do something about it. It's forcing them
I don't
to
know. How do you know?
right thing. Well, this is. Wait a second. I know this much about the Underdark, maybe.
Let's flip this around a little bit. How would unleashing them here be worse for us than not unleashing them here? I mean, would we expect the drow to help these demons somehow?
And do we have somewhere else to unleash them? Do we have a big arena?
Is there
Anywhere else we
unleashing?
go
Two of
is
them
gonna
are
have
already
these-
on this plane that are coming here. They're already unleashed. They're just coming to Menzoberranzan.
More than two are out.
Right.
Like you've seen some hints and clues of others. You just haven't encountered them technically.
So there's no unleashing. They're unleashed. They're already walking around the prime material.
Yeah, but they're walking around somewhere that's not here
But they're coming here
at the
already
moment. Why? If
to
we
get married.
Angela
But isn't this talisman?
It was more than just the two.
Angela was just going to explain it because it just seemed like you guys forgot.
Mhm.
From what we were told, Verzian did state that the talisman acts as a beacon, and they will likely be drawn in by that type of energy and power. They themselves would likely, according to what he's told us, destroy each other on near contact, trying to fight each other and kill each other along the way. With that said, it'll take them a very long time to reach a corporeal form ever again if the ritual is complete. More than likely, the reason why we took the grimoire is so that wouldn't happen again. Or at least, the very least, not anytime soon. Once the material form is dissipated from this plane of existence, it'll take some time for them to ever materialize here again without the ritual.
I mean, all right, sure then. If we can get the two, well, ideally we get the monkey one and one of the other ones that aren't, get them in the same space for like a few minutes. They probably won't be able to tolerate each other's existence. But I don't know. I mean, is this guy a wedding guest, or is I don't see how we can just
think he's a
depend on
wedding
them to fight each
crasher.
other immediately.
Well, that
What
may
I'm-
be the
what I'm
true,
getting out
but
of all
that's a
this
problem
is
no
two
matter
of them
where we
are
use
getting
this.
Yeah.
Like,
But having them all converge in the same spot's helpful because instead of all these problems all over the world, they're all converging here. And this third monkey guy, he seems like he's powerful, right? Isn't that what we talked about?
yeah, the monkey guy is
I'm trying
very
to do
strong.
This from memory from weeks ago. So so I think these other two people are getting married so that they can conglomeratively become more powerful than this monkey guy. So this monkey guy is not a guest. He's coming here to crash the wedding because he doesn't want them to get more powerful than him. So I think he's crashing the wedding. So it's going to be 2 against 1 with whoever knows how many other demons as guests going chaotic. But it's better to get them all here because as Antidote already said, most demons don't like each other and they'll start fighting each other, which is good for us.
Toulouse knows
And even-
centrifuge as well,
Branson,
so
I'd like to take a notch out of the drow.
okay. Toulouse knows centrifuge, so they would know that individual powers are strong when united. By the exact same time, individual powers together fighting the united is also quite strong. if they somehow interrupt that type of connection, or if rather they are being assaulted on more than one front, that union may not matter, or at least not that type of way.
An even worst case scenario, like if they all show up and it's like, "Hey, how you doing?" and the drow are like, "Pfft, whatever." The thing is, these big creatures bobbing through. I'm assuming reducing the property value may be a very prime distraction for slaves to escape.
Slash would state, or potentially die.
Yeah, but we
Next
kind of
fiery,
determined that was
crumbling
a
ruin
very
of Menzoberranzan.
likely outcome anyway. I mean, this because we still have the halfling. No, we left that with Vizran, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that halfling girl was this close to death, just putting the slightest gap between my claws. And that's just simply because we showed up. And so, I mean,
I mean, she was close to death because you guys showed up.
yeah, but we didn't attack anybody. We were just standing there. She walked up and touched Kobo, and that was enough to basically almost get her sentenced to death. I mean, yeah.
So yeah, do we want this environment, this city, to continue doing what it's doing? The demons destroying the city is still a big bonus for the innocents in the future who aren't going to be caught enslaved and aren't going to be subjected to such horrible treatment in this horrible place.
Okay, can someone who's familiar with magic remind me again about the summoning circles and all this that Brahms is doing, or Gromp rather? Because that's the part we're really concerned about, right? The whole summoning of the abyssal plane into this one. That's the main
Oh,
thing I
yeah.
want to avoid.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
straight up tell you outright
got
because you
that.
guys all know this. Coming back to consensus, you can tell and determine that this type of magic would require a lot of Fizran or whatever it's called, as well as proper magical incantations, the time, dedication to do that. It's not gonna happen willy-nilly. Someone literally has to do it. It's not gonna, accidentally trigger because you did all this. That's not the case here.
No, but is it going to trigger because they need the demons here to do it?
Again,
No,
Or
you don't
it's not that. It's
you don't know why they summoned the demons here, but they were doing something to summon something here, and the demons all got let loose. Grom's
that
plan
was
more or
botched.
less went awry, went chaotic, and you really don't know
Yeah,
why.
it got botched.
now one question I've got: these creatures, they are physical manifestations, correct? And the reason I'm asking that is this presumably means that they're going to have to force their way into wherever this talisman is, assuming there's obstructions, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so my thinking there then is based on if this means then that they're going to have to force their way through the entrances, we might actually want to put the talisman as far away from the entrances as possible. The reason behind this idea is first thing they're going to have to do is breach the entrances, or at least one of them. And then by having it as far away from the entrance as possible, that means the maximum amount of movement through the city, causing the maximum amount of chaos, giving the largest opportunity, the most potential slaves to go ahead and escape through whichever entrance or entrances has been breached. And presumably those guards are going to be pretty difficult, or I mean, preoccupied dealing with these creatures. I mean, unless they all happen to have a valid visa and they're like, "Oh, go on through, Demogorgon," or whatever the heck we're dealing with.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we all are agreed that putting the beacon thing here in Menzoberranzan is going to be a good idea because it gets all of our monsters together, all of our bad guys together. They're going to be killing each other off. We can do what we can. It's going to be, chaos. The drow are definitely going to be fighting them because they want to protect what's theirs. Even chaos, they'll want to protect what's theirs. But greed. But as
And so much
Antidote already
chaos
said
we'd blend
once,
in as well.
yeah. But as Antidote already said once, these demons wouldn't be bothered getting married if they can find items or objects of power that make them more powerful.
Like if they find something else intermedium.
Yeah. Is this beacon a powerful object that can give them that, or is it really
It's like a false signal that draws them in.
okay? All right. So this is a false signal. We're not actually putting a real super weapon out for them to find. Okay. That's all I was checking. It's not a real super weapon. It's a fake one, but it'll still get them all here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we should leave the beacon here in the city.
I agree, and furthermore, I think it should be as far away from the entrances as possible.
Yep.
In fact, if we dump it at some known high-profile target, if that happens to work out well, as an example, if all of a sudden these things start trampling around on the local keep as part of their amorous or anti-amorous ritual or something like that, that might produce a more aggressive response than, if Bobbus's luminescent crab shack happens to get crunched.
Interesting way of phrasing it, says Slash. That being said, though, all in all, it comes down to morality, but it seems that we've made our choice. And if you want in the middle of the city or something close to it, there are a few places you could potentially put it. One would be the bazaar, but there's far too many people there that one could see you placing it there. One would be the Narbondel. What were we going to say, Gothos?
Well, with us being in the sorcery already, and I don't think there's a entrance anywhere around here. Aren't we already at the kind of optimal placement for that?
She shows the map. Not according to the map, and you wanting it in the middle of the city. We can definitely place it here if that's what you prefer.
Hello.
Guess what we're saying. Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I lost. I'm having audio issues. I'm sorry. But how big is this talisman, this Heart of Darkness? Hiding a little thing, or is it a big thing?
It's like massive. It's like the size of a small book, but pretty thick. So the size of a small book, but encyclopedia.
Okay, so an encyclopedia-sized thing.
So like
Okay,
6 inches thick, and small book size.
In my wanderings, we can't leave the Heart of Darkness talisman thing here because this is an extra dimensional space. We obviously have to get out of Grok's inner sanctum room and away from this summon lady. But while I was walking around the bazaar and other places in the city, does this city have a sewer system?
Not one you're aware of. They might, you're just not aware of it.
No grates for drainage or anything like that help with, because caves leak and drip.
Unless you were actively looking at the time you were wandering the streets, which you weren't, because none of you said you were. Not entirely sure.
Slash? Do you know? You lived here?
I was highborn at the time, and there are bathrooms. I just don't know where, the piping is or would go.
Okay, so the sewer system here is like all fancy with pipes and stuff. It's not just like, dug out tunnels underneath the city with some drainage grates to have the water run away.
It's possible. Again,
fill up the city.
I'm not entirely sure. Before I was cast out, I lived a rather high-profile life. I don't really know.
I remembered looking previously at the ceiling with the spiders, given the concerns about echo. What's the deal with the spiders? I guess there's plenty that hang from the ceiling. How big were those spiders?
They were considered giant spider size, so 5 feet big, or whatever metric, or 2 meter sticks big, if I remember correctly. So pretty big.
And were the spiders basically left alone, or did any of the drow interact with the ones up on the ceiling?
From time to time, they did interact, but not so heavily. They were more or less left alone. Some ventured corner to corner of the cave system, and some just stayed in place. They're not all encompassing to the point of being seen all the time, but they are present.
And do the spiders seem to mind their own business, or does it seem like they really pay attention to what's going on down below?
From
Beyond
time to
trying
time, this is something, even though you didn't look for it, is something you would be wouldn't be that hard to see, and you have Toulouse. He is very good with perception. From time to time, you can tell they were like mean mugging, looking at you, as far as you could tell what spiders can mean mug. And then after a while, they like looked away. They're definitely focusing in on things from time to time, but not all the time. Like surveillance cameras that are alive.
So what I'm thinking is, what if I put this talisman up on the ceiling?
It's
I was thinking
possible.
about burying it, but either way.
We would just need to make sure we aren't seen. So likely magic needs to be cast.
Well, I was thinking I
I
could go ahead
have
and
an idea.
polymorph into a spider just like the ones up there, which would then give me the ability to rather conveniently web the talisman up there.
I did mention of spiders being potentially harmful or harmed here, right?
Yeah, even
Well-
Tannhauser was starting to get a little twitchy from the, influence of Lolth and her domain of power and her absolute dominion over Spiderkind.
Yes.
I have an idea, and I think we can do it. Now, I might not have been paying attention to sewer grates, but part of my background is fighting ways through cities. So, I should have been noticing back alleys and little, behind buildings type things, and, those little nooks and crannies in a deep, dark city where you don't want to find yourself late at night, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you found some bits and pieces here and there, like back alleys you might be able to like escape through. Some places you might be able to hide.
But yeah, my background's a little more detailed than that. Hold on, let me pull it up for you.
Now, is it
Well,
things
okay, here's
you
an-
wrote or things that your character gets?
This is something my character gets as an urchin background.
Yeah.
Features city secrets. You know the secret patterns and flows of cities and can find passages through the urban sprawl and others would miss. When you are not in combat, you and your companions, you in the lead, can travel between any two locations in a city twice as fast as your speed would normally allow.
Yeah, you can definitely book it through.
Darting through back alleys and finding the best routes.
Yeah, as long as no
So I
one's
should be
chasing
able-
you can definitely go through.
Yeah, so I should be able to find some back alleys or some place where we're not actually being actively observed just for a moment, so I can take 6 seconds, cast Move Earth, dig a 5-foot deep hole, drop the talisman in it, Move Earth again, bury the hole, and nobody notices.
In theory.
I mean, just looking at the map, like there's a whole bunch of like fissures and stuff. The Claw Rift comes to mind.
Yeah.
It is
But how deep is a claw rift? We don't want to drop it 500 feet below the city. They might find a cave below the city to get to it, and they wouldn't be here.
From what I remember in my notes, it's a
Thinking somewhere around-
chasm, so pretty deep.
I'm thinking somewhere between the bazaar and House o' Bloodra.
Well, here's a question. How aggressively do we really think we need to hide this thing? I mean, is anybody actually looking
Mildly.
for it?
Well, yeah, the demons, they're going to be called to it. They are going to be looking for it. But
So we have to make sure they can't find it?
No.
not that they can't find it, but the longer it takes them to find it, the more destruction they're going to do to the city.
Maya, the one slave that you guys found that's still there, does state it's not probably the demons you have to worry about, it's the people around you you have to worry about. More than likely, people walking the streets will likely find, a potential magical aura prominent and will examine it, maybe scry on it, and potentially find you guys through the scry. I would suggest maybe locating an area as... I don't know if she knows your name, Kobo, as this one suggested. So to hide it and bury it in the dirt, more than likely, Drow would not look into that, as they would consider it beneath them. At the very least, it'll buy you some time.
And not only that, they talk about chaos, the bazaar. That's full of magic items and magic collars and magic auras. I mean, half the shit there, I'm sure, is glowing. And things that aren't glowing for magic items are going to be glowing for magic security systems. So I'm sure the bazaar is a great place to hide one magical aura in a myriad of magical auras.
So
Maybe,
then why
although
wouldn't
on
we
the
just take it out of the extra dimensional space and leave it in this goon's office? You know, in
I
the
think that
magic
would be-
tower.
I think that would be easy to find, but again, not a bad idea there, because the magic tower, of course. But is there any entrances or exits? This is pretty much in the far end of the city. So if the only exits are way to the south of us, and they have to go through the whole city to get to the magic tower up here in the far north, that would be fine. But if there's like an entrance or exit way up here close to the Magic Academy, then maybe that would be nominalizing the damage to the rest of the city.
do we have any idea how long it would take the demons to respond to this thing?
It would take them a while. It'd definitely take a couple of weeks, at the very least, because not everyone's super close.
But 2 of them at least are already headed here. I mean, that's the whole reason we came here.
Yeah, I will state, according to the PDF, you already know my spiel. It does
Okay.
state that they all basically come and converge in the same area, minus a few of them. That is
Okay,
basically to say
so-
that they will all basically arrive around the same time, except like 1 or 2. But that's for other detailed stuff and information later. You can tell that it will take them some time, but not forever. And you don't have... If you hide things well, you don't have to generally worry about things. And even still, if they do find it, unless they're going to scry on it, you really don't have to worry about them moving it outside of the city. Unless they know this ritual or this type of talisman, which they don't because none of them made it, they would likely try to find you guys to see what is up with this, or maybe find the culprit if they didn't scry.
And one good thing about scrying is it's only in real time, so the sooner we get rid of this, the less likely it is that they have scryed on us with it. Otherwise, they couldn't figure out that it was us.
So I'm noticing the cliffs over there near the claw rift, basically the upper right side of the image. Is there much activity on those cliff faces, like spiders or anything? Or
Some
even
here and there,
actual
but not
drow?
heavily. That area, I believe, is more of a farming area.
Well, here's one of 2 thoughts I'm having. One would be, if that area is fairly clear, go ahead and haul the talisman fairly far up the cliff and leave it there. The idea being is that it should be out of range of most normal detect magic, and somebody should only be scrying on that object if they know it exists. So that kind of limits how many people would even be checking for it. The other possibility is, if we don't think that's an idea, is what if a drow woman just goes ahead and sticks the thing wherever?
Slash just looks at you. We were told not to, disguise ourselves.
This isn't really a
Yeah.
disguise per se.
I'm also
I'm
not going to
thinking
do
our
your
best-
job for you. As the DM already mentioned, NPCs can't
Mhm.
clear your
Yeah.
objectives.
Yeah, I'm thinking our best bet is to, as we're going from this place to House Bainray, was it? Which is all the way down the other side of the city. We can take a few jaunts and jags through the bazaar, and I'm sure I can find a place. And then it will take literally all of 6 seconds.
You can also just
Like,
dump it in a trash can. Unless people are looking for it, they probably won't find it. Or unless someone gets very unlucky or lucky.
And yeah, buried in a hole or somewhere like that, yeah, nobody's gonna find it.
Trying so hard not to meta knowledge stuff.
Actually, this is something I would know, so let me go ahead and look it up.
It may not be, but feel free to look it up anyways. And
It's a spell. It's detect magic.
you would know of the spell. Your former ally and associate. I was gonna say Mifi, but technically that's not the character. Roswin has used it before.
I've used it before too.
There's that.
The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, or a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. So yeah, I bury it in a 5-foot deep hole. It's 3 feet of dirt, so they're not going to find it through magical auras. Is that good enough?
Yeah, why aren't we just leaving it here?
Because
and
I
so-
mean, not here inside the extra. I mean, the tower in general.
Andrew does state, not entirely sure. You guys wanted it in the middle of the city. I don't know.
No, the biggest thing was just I was trying to look for maximizing the amount of chaos to maybe allow
Yeah.
slaves extra opportunity to get out. Also,
Which
one
would
drawback
be
to
the
just
same.
leaving it as soon as we exit the extra dimensional space is we're leaving it in the closest place to the person who knows it. I mean, who's got a vested interest in this place. To
Yeah,
I mean,
I've-
like, do we really want it to be as close as possible to Gromf, the person who we're stealing his grimoire, and might have better reason than most to be looking very carefully for magical artifacts, even if he's looking for a different one than what's being hidden?
Antidote
Yeah,
does
he'd have the
state
best
he
chance of
hasn't
finding
been
it if he
seen
goes
here
back.
for weeks.
Yes, but
Okay.
if he goes back.
Yeah, but that could be true all the way up until he walks in the door an hour from now. If we can guarantee he'll be gone for multiple additional weeks, like I don't know if somebody can go ahead and commune and find that out or something.
Slash would know this, and just to ease this and move this along, because I
Yeah,
honestly did
yeah.
expect this to happen, but not this long.
Yeah.
Slash does state
Yeah, we've been
If-
debating for a while.
he is going to arrive in the city anytime soon. He will have to answer to his matriarch, which would be his sister, and he'd likely be in prison in his own abode for quite some time before ever coming to his offices.
But that's assuming he got caught. He might sneak into the city like we saw that one weird guy do.
I suppose that is
and not get caught
possible.
until later. So I'm honestly gonna say we'll just bury it. Just bury it in a hole, 5 feet deep. Can't magic it, but it's still here. So yeah.
I like how when I'm trying to
Nobody can
ease
find
this
it.
along, you decide to no.
I'm just gonna ignore what you say and keep going.
No. I wasn't ignoring. I was trying to push the issue. Sorry.
I think you just want to dig
Okay,
more.
so if I'm
Uh,
understanding this right, we could just exit this extra dimensional space, place this anywhere in this building that we're going to pop into, and get out of here and hope we hear about the fireworks later.
Presumably,
You both-
you still need to get out of the city. And you
Yeah,
might.
and hopefully with some guidance from this book or whatever we find. Didn't we hear illusions earlier? There's like a great magic circle around this whole bloody city in order to do this ritual of summoning the abyssal plane to this one.
A circle of some sort, but you're not sure where it's located. It's definitely around the city somewhere. You just don't know where, unless it's all-encompassing, which is probably not.
Does this grimoire have any insights as towards that?
It does depict a few things here and there, written in Undercommon. Well, no, written in Elvish, technically.
Wait, aren't we supposed to just bring this back to what's his face?
Yeah.
The guy outside the city because
Grimoire.
he needs it.
Verizian, yeah.
The grimoire.
The grimoire, yeah, but the beacon, no, they're two different things.
Yeah, he basically said once you acquire the grimoire, place the beacon inside the city.
Okay,
So, yeah,
then.
the beacon is something we've had.
Yeah, he also did
Or
state
we got
that
it now.
you can technically place it anywhere, but he preferred it in the city to get rid of the
so I-
people.
Uh,
So
okay, so
So we-
here's. I'm really trying to. What do we know about this academy? Basically nothing.
You're currently in the tower known as sorcery, which is where the teachers and faculty are. The academy itself is home to various scholars, teachers, as well as students of all sorts, mainly Drow, and their retainers and
All
such.
houses?
I do know one thing about an academy, and I realize that I'm not the most schooled person, but I do know one thing about an academy that was taught, and that this is a place of learning, and there's lots of books, and books are for learning, and this Heart of Darkness is a 6-inch book. Basically, that's what you described. It's a
As
I thought it was
big as
book
one. It
size,
looks like a heart.
not
Oh, it looks like a heart. Okay, I was going to say, if we're just hiding it in with a bunch of books, this would be the place where it's most likely found, because that's where people go to open and look at books. But if it looks like a heart, then yeah, I say we just dump it in a hole and let's just go if we're all afraid of it being found or discovered. But how long do we want to stay?
I mean,
in
on the way in, it kind of
space?
looked like we went to this one tower very specifically, but this is a huge complex. Like this, it's not all just the sorcery tower. Even looking at the map here, we've got Aractonith, Mealy Mathagre.
Yeah, it connects to other buildings for sure. But
Oh, yeah.
once you get out, you have to
But
go and
it's-
speak with Ben Ray again to see if there's anything you discovered. Air quotes lie potentially.
Found the
well,
truth.
actually.
I'm trying not to meta
Wait a
knowledge.
second. Now I'm trying to remember. Can you help refresh us, DM? Because it didn't happen that long ago for our characters. We were sent here not to find the book. That was a separate side quest from
Yeah.
Vizaran wanted us to get the grimoire.
So we've got that.
Done.
That wasn't our mission. Our mission from the head of the house, Bainray,
Yeah, Quinthil Ben Ray.
to yeah, and she gave us a mission to come here too, and we came specifically here to
Ascertain the situation at hand, find any evidence, and then destroy it if applicable. Then you are to report back to her and see what you found.
Okay.
So we
we do
have
have
to
something
deal with.
to report. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because there's a thing with her sister or whatever.
Brother.
Yeah, and that's not a sister. We've kind of surmised that that's got to be a demon or something else in disguise. But we're gonna leave her here, and we're gonna go back and report that we found that he has physically been gone for 8 months, and that he has this demon drow lady in a circle in his secret place, and
Might
we can even tell
not
them
wanna
the
tell her that.
password. What's that?
Slash does state you might not want to tell her that part.
Why?
For all we know, it's a demon of love.
That would be on her to release it or keep it here.
Yeah, well then she'd immediately want to free the demon of Lolth, who we determined that we don't want to free.
No, we don't want to free her because she's going to kill us instantly. But if a head of the house shows up, I'm pretty sure she'll show up with enough people to assassinate this thing if she wants, or to talk to it if she wants.
Yes,
That would
and
make her
she's
happy,
been in
right?
this room this entire time we've had this conversation.
Oh, maybe we should kill her.
Well, do we have anything else about Gromp? I mean, like, okay, Gromp being gone is for a while is one thing, but why is Gromp gone? Maybe I missed that part.
Maya would
Because his
state,
sister's
because-
angry with him.
I'm just going to placate you guys, even though that's not the proper term I'm looking for. Maya, the slave you guys found, would state, those that fail the academy and those that fail their matriarchs likely flee for their lives. He'll likely be gone for quite some time, and who knows when they'll return back. More than likely when they've made up for their mistake by some means or fashion. They'll likely be gone for a while if that's the case.
Now, how did they fail?
Presumably, his sister believes that they are the ones that caused all this damage when the demons came here. It's likely why you were told to look for evidence and then destroy anything related to that connection in their house. Drow are very centrical in this endeavor. The name is far
In
better
that
than the
case-
individual.
In that case, I think we have a report that would make the matriarch lady very happy. That we did find some things saying that he did purposely cause the damage because he botched his spell. But we have destroyed all evidence connecting him or that to the problems. Ergo, saving face on the house. And we don't know anything. And we tell her that yeah, we don't know anything. We destroyed the evidence, so there's nothing for us to talk about. She'll
Now,
take it
and
with that.
just to confirm, we are in an extra dimensional space right now, correct?
Yeah.
How did we get into this space again?
You guys found a
Everyone.
Toulouse, he found a trap and then you guys activated it. You were aware of how to activate it properly so you weren't stuck in a separate dimensional plane instead of a crystal gem. So you continued on that pathway and now you're in the inner sanctum, which is an interdimensional plane.
And the great thing about an interdimensional plane is Scribe doesn't share.
Yeah, there is a doorway that leads to a black vacuous tunnel system which will pop you out. You've already discovered that. And if not, I'm telling you.
Well, how about this? Why you guys spend, how about say 10 minutes and 6 seconds debating this? I'm going to go ahead and semi-quietly ponder this in the corner while you guys stay in range. And I'm going to go ahead and start casting Telepathic Bond.
Okay, I'm going to say you've been doing that this entire time. It would make sense.
All right. Well, once it's active, after Slash brought up the whole thing being there. Now that we've got our private thoughts here, like, okay, here's my thinking. We need to destroy evidence, right?
Something like
Yeah.
that.
What? Well, right now the fact that this thing is here and has hurt a bunch of our stuff is a bit of a problem. What if as soon as we exit out of this dimensional space, I try to figure out some way to basically destroy the entrance in here so that it's not there to find?
That's a good idea. That's what I was about to suggest a second ago, but you got it.
It would be interesting if any of us know how to do that.
Well, I mean, it was a magical
If there's one
thing.
we know how to do, it's break things.
Fair enough.
Anyway, but yeah, it's, I mean, if it's a magical effect, I can always try to dispel it.
I suppose it's possible unless safeguards are placed intermittently. It shouldn't be a
And
problem.
I can go ahead and cast detect magic and identify. Well, I can, to try. Well, no, I can cast detect magic, but I think you have to identify Boom to try and look at the rooms, because if you don't remember, the doorway that we came into this area with had runes on it. So if we could find some way to screw up the runes, that might destroy the whole enchantment direction and stuff. Not only that, we have the password. We just have to burn the piece of paper and not tell anybody what it is. That would leave only Garf or whatever his name is.
Again, I straight up told you didn't find a piece of paper. You guys originally identified the spell, and that gave you the password.
Yeah.
This man doesn't keep sticky notes with his passwords to his Google email.
Yeah, okay.
And that is a possibility, unless you guys screw up on, screwing things up. It could work.
It would definitely be the most secure way I can think of to keep this thing secured away.
Yep. And that would be, we deliver that message to the Queen Lady so that she would be very happy with us and what we have done. about our merry way.
So, if you're expecting some sort of reward from the Drow matron, don't.
I am not. I'm expecting my reward is to be allowed to leave the city alive.
That might be a bit of an optimistic expectation.
At this point, I just want to do something, like anything.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go.
Well, let's
All right.
step
Plan
out
of
of the pocket dimension and pop back into the main place.
Oh, you're going to the main place to do it. Okay.
Well, when I say main place, I mean just exiting out of this extra dimensional space, wherever
Yeah.
it's going
And
to
the
exit us out
sorcery,
at.
sorcery. Yeah, we're not going to try and dispel an interdimensional place while we're still in it. That doesn't sound great.
So
That's
we'll
just
go
how
ahead.
it sounded to me.
Yeah, no one's going to explore the other side where Gromp presumably escaped out of. That's fine.
That's the
He's-
area we're going to leave. Imagine a round room with two exits. One is the one we came in at, and the other one's the one we're going to leave through.
Now, I have one last thing, I guess, to consider here is, do we have any idea where Gromp is going? Because one thing we might be able to do to help improve our life expectancy is to maybe put ourselves in a position where maybe we can be going after this Gromp individual.
How would we possibly know where he's going?
I don't know.
Where
I
is-
mean, if we're in his lair, maybe there's something that would at least provide a vague clue. And if not, potentially we could make something up if we see anything that gives appropriate inspiration.
I will state that you guys try to look for something beforehand. And you guys, I think one of you rolled very high and didn't find anything.
Then not very mind.
And I think one of you actually rolled a natural 20, so I gave you a way of, finding the password.
Yeah. So yeah, we've definitely explored and looked through this place thoroughly last session. So yeah, I'm thinking our next bit is just to walk through the exit, poof back into the main hallway office area that we first came into.
Yep, you're there
and
now.
Try and destroy the door.
We're there now. Sounds great.
Okay. Yep. Goodbye,
So
lady. I hope
your
you die.
plan is to take it to the bazaar instead of just leaving it here, where presumably every drow child from all the houses are left to train,
Yeah, and
making
possibly
it-
find it.
Like this office
making
specifically,
it basically
no one
the only
comes here.
place that, making the academy basically the only place that every house in Menzoberranzan has a vested interest in.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Well, I suppose we can leave it here then if we can find an appropriate hiding place. Maybe we can flush it down the toilet. I don't know how the sewer system works. Maybe we can bury it on the grounds. Maybe we can hide it in a wall. I don't know, but
I can arrange for that.
yeah, I know that just leaving it somewhere, even if you tuck it behind some books or something, this is a place with kids. They're gonna find it.
I mean, we're in the headmaster's office. They could literally kill you if you walk in the door without permission.
Well, we walked in the door, but then again, we had permission. But who else is going to get permission to search the office and take his stuff? Maybe the house will want to take back their stuff from their disgraced person. Leaving it here is the easiest place for somewhere else.
They sent
for
us to
somebody else.
get this stuff.
Okay.
Or destroy it, either way. Antidote does
Yeah,
state,
well-
I think.
regardless of any of that, you guys did mention of potentially destroying the door pathway or whatnot.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm not exactly sure how you would do that, but we're out here now.
All right. Well, I guess first I want to ritual cast detect magic on the thing we used as an entrance. I just want to see if I get an idea of how powerful the magic is for that.
It is considered a 9th level spell.
Okay.
It's quite
Well,
strong and very stable. In fact, there are some structured structured symbolisms and things that Brat would take a note because of who he is. that stabilize the thing to such a degree that just a simple dispel would not work.
So it has to be more than just a dispel. Okay.
At the
Just
very
to-
least, that's what you
Rack
can tell.
notice.
Like, this guy was a headmaster for a reason. If he was a female, he'd be potentially the leader. But, he's not.
Got that pesky penis.
Maybe you should have made a spell to switch genders. Problem solved.
I have an idea. I would like to flip through my instruction book really quickly.
Which book?
And see notes and instructions and recipes on how to make magic tattoo inks.
Okay, what are you exactly trying to looking for
Yeah,
through the book?
this confuses the team.
I have a different idea while this is going on.
All right. Well, to make a magic tattoo, you need 3 vials of different inks. One vial is like an enchantment ink, and it has the spell. One is a vial of infusing ink to literally bind the spell into the person you're tattooing, right?
Yeah.
The third vial is a vial of eraser ink used to fix mistakes or bad rolls or whatever. And I'm trying to figure out if the vial of eraser ink is a powerful enough dispelling agent mixed with a dispel magic that might actually be enough to break down the runes of this thing. Because basically these carved runes are nothing more than tattoos on wood instead of tattoos on skin, right?
Interesting way of saying that. But no, it's not strong enough. I will state outright that eraser ink is used to like remove some of the etching inside your own skin. It isn't a fully stabilized tattoo until it's finished.
You can't erase full tattoos. It's for like fixing
in
mistakes along the way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, was using it in conjunction with a full dispel in order to, just to give it a little more oomph.
You can try it.
Look, if there's magical runes, just smash the shit out of the runes, right, Brack? Runes don't work as they're broken.
Oh yeah, you know a lot about runes, Brack. What do you make about these?
Sorry, I think I accidentally cast silence on him.
Or he fell asleep.
If you're talking, Thomas, we can't hear you.
What?
There he is.
There he is.
He
Brack.
might have zoned out.
You know,
Yes.
you know a lot about runes. Can you just smash the runes here and make them not work no more?
Yeah, the barbarians dispel magic.
What would I need to roll to know this?
Arcana, I'll give you advantage because this is kind of your thing.
But, okay, so I have double advantage because I already
Just roll
have
twice.
advantage
It
in
doesn't matter.
Arcana. It's a 15.
15. From what you can tell, runes can go awry if you smash them physically, if they're like layered on a physical form. It could work if you do that, or it could make things worse. It could, explode the area, or it could release whatever's inside. Like, think of it as a reverse bag of holding. The interdimensional pathway is inside, so if you disrupt it from the outside, it would more or less reverse and potentially throw the things inside out into the material plane. Or it could just blow up in your face. Presumably that is not the best idea, but it's not the worst idea if you want to just get rid of things.
When we ended up in the pocket dimension, how did we appear in there? Like, where and, like...
You appeared in the middle of the room on top of a rug that looked like a spider web.
All right. How hard would it be for you guys to find a live critter? Preferably an expendable one.
You guys find a centipede not that long into looking.
I'd rather have something larger than that.
You guys find a
What's your
very
plan?
big centipede.
That's the
Oh,
biggest
the
thing
size
you
of my
gotta
hand.
get, boy.
Oh.
You.
You're not going to find any squirrels down here.
Yeah, that's still smaller than I was thinking. God, I
The
mean,
centipede is like
What?
where's a druid when you
one
need
third
one?
of a meter long, and as thick as a ruler.
All right. Well, I was thinking more medium-sized creature for perspective, but all right, I'll take that.
You would
I'm gonna
have to
go
go
back
look
in.
into
There's
the
a bunch of
wilds.
slaves.
You
What do you
wouldn't-
want?
I guess you could buy one in the bazaar, but you're not gonna find one in this room.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna
Unless you
go in
summon
there.
it.
Give me a. Well, which would be handy, but I don't have that kind of ability. If only I were a druid. All right. Well, then.
You're a druid.
Okay. So once we got some big honking centipede or whatever, here's what I'm gonna do. You guys, I'm gonna go in. Give me about 1 minute. Then go ahead. Wait, how did we go into it? Can we just enter? Do we have to touch something? Like,
You guys touched the
can you-
door, went onto the other side, said the word to continue through the process and not get stuck in a trap, and then land into the inner sanctum. Whereupon you
so,
landed on the rug.
God damn it! So centipede's not going to work anyway because it can't talk.
Oh my god. No one has any idea what your plan is. We can't help you.
Yes. Be more specific before you surprise us, please.
Well, I think what he wants to do is send in the animal first to see if it dies or not.
Exactly. My thinking is that okay, this thing teleports to a destination. You know how there's always those horror stories about mages trying to learn how to teleport and they end up embedding themselves in rock or something like that? What if we could guarantee that that would happen?
Well,
How would that help us?
all I'm going to say is, have you ever heard of Schrodinger's owl?
I have not.
It's
Don't
basically
say anything.
Schrodinger put an owl in a box and cast it. Kill Cloud on it, in it. But he could not see if the owl was dead or alive until he opened the box. So, as long as the box stayed closed, the owl was in two states at the same time, dead and alive. So,
How is this helping us?
well, unless we manage to find the creature that he's gonna shove through that thing, we will not know if the creature is dead or alive, and that's at its boat.
Yeah,
Tie a
so
rope
even
around
if-
its neck. Throw it in, pull it back. Is it dead?
And what if it is
Well-
stuck?
Well, the problem is it sounds like the creature, if it can't talk and say the code word, it's just going to get succumb to the trap. Which ideally the trap is kind of self-evident. What I'm trying to look for is to breach, to prevent somebody who knows how to get in from getting in. So imagine if instead of teleporting in on that nice spidery rug, imagine if instead you find yourself embedded in a block of stone, or more accurately, several thick layers of stone.
Why are we doing this?
I'm not
I don't
entirely
understand
sure.
how this helps.
Because for some reason we can't. Sounds like we can't reliably dispel the entrance. So I was thinking if we can't get rid of the entrance, just make using it invariably fatal.
Well, so what? We already got all the good stuff out of there. We got the grimoire. We got the heart. Why? Anybody's gonna go in there? They're gonna see the demon. They're gonna be like, "Ah, the demon's gonna kill me." Like what are we doing?
Well,
This
wait.
is
Weren't
overly
you just
complicated here.
weren't you just concerned about the whole if the person who sent us here finds out about this demon and then they try to do something with the demon?
No, I was not concerned about that at all.
Are you sure? I could swear.
I literally don't care what happens to the demon in the magical circle there. That's someone else's problem.
Yeah, Slash was more saying, like, don't tell the leader of House Benray that the demon's there.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's it.
But that's the thing is that wouldn't it be nice if the thing wasn't accessible at all? I mean, yeah, we may not want to say anything, but do we want to trust that nothing's going to come of that over the next few weeks?
Well, I'm thinking our best
I
bet is
literally
just
don't
to
care.
roll the dice. Yeah. Our best bet would be then to just roll the dice and try and destroy the door. Yes, it's not a guarantee, but it seems a hell of a lot more likely to work than trying to redirect a 9th level teleport into a stone with magics that you can't really
Or
reproduce.
are we laboring under the impression that someone else is going to come and check our work? The only people, no drow can be trusted with this, because then they'd have too much information. They just have to be killed. The drow matron is very likely going to kill us. Even if we just say, like, hey, best news ever, everything worked out, she'll be like, that's great, kids. No one else can know about this, so you have to die now.
Slash just state that is a possibility depending on how favorably we're currently looked at. And boom, if you are considering, trapping the area to, not get in trouble, at least by this matriarch, then by that logic alone, we might as well just attack her while we have an audience with her.
Well, that relies on us surviving, which it's a potentially risky bet in a place like this.
So is the trapping.
To be fair,
Oh,
if you just attune
the
to
trap,
that
we'd be
amulet,
nowhere
maybe.
near it if anybody even falls through it. I mean, I'm not talking about anything fancy. I'm just talking about leaving literally a really big brick at the destination. Takes 10
Throw a
minutes.
brick in.
I understand that,
Throw a
but
brick in.
as of right now, we have this, I don't know, surprise opportunity as well. Like, if you believe that we're in potential danger, then trapping it now for a potential risk factor in the future. Ultimately, we might just risk the factor now and deal with her as of now, with the surprise and the opportunity at hand. Otherwise, they may look for us later, knowing full well we trapped the area if they, as Gothos mentioned, examined our work, and will likely go into stealth in that regard. They do have quite a number of assassins to do that.
Well, the thing's already got a trap on it anyway, so there's no guarantee that would be tied to us. And the benefit to what I'm thinking of being on the other side of the dimensional portal, if it could work, is they don't really have a way to look at that in advance. But whatever. But Kobo, you were saying that something about the possibility of dispelling. I guess I got the impression that this was too powerful to attempt that with.
Like, it may not work
No.
Am I
properly,
wrong
is
about
what
that?
is the assumption you got.
I thought that was
means
if
you have to
Rex
actually.
smashed it.
It just meant that you actually had to make a roll to see if you succeeded or not. It wasn't a guarantee.
Or you just have to upcast.
Well, I
That
can't
too, that would
upcast
help
that
as well.
high.
I think Gothos
You
and
can't
Brack are just arm wrestling at this point.
Probably.
Yeah, so I think if you go ahead and upcast the best you can, I can give you a little bit of bardic inspiration to add to your roll, but it's still going to be a roll, and a roll is never a guarantee, and you're looking for a guarantee that I think we just cannot do.
I'm not looking for a guarantee. I'm just trying to minimize the odds of something getting worse. How did we? Okay, so we got into this room here. What did we have to walk through to get to this point?
A door?
This thing
A
right
door.
here,
No, that's to
literally,
get
you
in the
walk through
interjet.
this door, it teleports us.
Stop! That's to get in the extra dimensional space. I'm talking about to get into this ordinary room that we're in right now.
A door?
It's an office. There's a door.
So that goes straight
Is it-
outside, and there's nothing that we have to worry about.
There's a hallway
That
and
goes
like
into a
stairs going down?
Yeah.
We were
You're at
given
the
like
top
the
of the
key
tower.
to this door.
I wasn't
can only
being
assume
cheeky.
that-
I straight up told you a door. Toulouse untrapped it. There are the circles in the room are like light fixtures that would have summoned a potential elemental, but you guys, untrapped that. You went into the other room that had bookcases and other stuff and a desk that if you tampered with it, it would awaken a statue which Bragg promptly destroyed.
Yep.
All right, are there any windows in this room?
No.
All right, I'm going to go out in the hallway. Are there any windows out there?
No.
To get the great view of the Mensa Brands and stone wall.
Is there
This
any way to
area-
get to any windows before I have to interact with any people?
There might be a botanical area somewhere that casts some type of environmental connection. You go ahead and roll perception.
great thing, but
Does the
that's
front
okay.
door have one of those itty tiny doors so
20.
you can look through the door who is at the other side of it?
Okay. I think you said 20. It hasn't popped up on my end.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. You go into the area, crisscross around a few people that might have interacted with you. Inside, you open the door and you find a botanical garden section. There is an open windows veranda that goes into more shrubbery and moss and things of that nature, with the cascading light of not actual light, but what's it called? Luminescent plants from the top of the roof glowing down on the other plants.
All right. So you said this was a botanical garden I'm in.
Yeah,
With a
Okay.
balcony.
with a balcony.
All right. So if I look outside, do I see anywhere where a wall of stone might blend in well?
The wall of stone sections that encompass this very city itself. Some of the structures of the houses have stone. A lot of the buildings are actually made out of stone. So anywhere?
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go back into the room. It's like, okay, we got two options here. One is Kobo, you can try and bury this thing in the botanical garden. Number two is we go outside, I entomb that thing in stone, and we just get out of here and find out whether we live or not.
Okay, that works.
Which is it? There's two choices.
Just make a little stone bubble on side of the back of one building. Nobody will find it.
Yep, go ahead and just entomb it in stone. That's better than soft wood.
All right. Well, that being the case, from the balcony, is there stuff within, say, 30 feet where I could try to do that?
Yeah, there's like a little ropeway that you can use to go down to the very bottom of the sorcery. There you can find a side wall that you can just do it.
All right. Well, assuming that there's no big obstacles for that, we can go down there and I'll go ahead and spend 10 minutes rockifying this thing.
Yeah. With Toulouse's passive perception, he determines when people are watching or things of that nature. And with your own stealth skills, you are more than able to do that. It does take some time, some sleight of hand here and there to make sure you're not caught, but eventually you do it. You use the ropeway to get back to your team to make sure that they haven't died. And surprise, surprise, they haven't died. Surprisingly. Slash does state, okay, that's good. It's not a trap, but if we just want to encompass the trap door with stone, I suppose that's feasible rather than potentially blowing things up.
I thought about that.
Put a
I was just
thin layer of
concerned
stone
that
in
it would be
that,
too.
push a bookcase in front of it.
That too, they didn't find it before the last time they entered here.
Were the walls something where the wall of stone would blend in? Because I had thought about that, but figured that would stick out too much.
It would, you guys know this area is made out of mainly stone, and it would stick out because they know the layout, but unless you're actively looking for it, you would, think it's weird, but not heavily weird.
Push a
So we can
statue in
wall of
front of it
stone
with the
it,
fire.
then
Well, I can make a lot of walls, so I could actually cover essentially the whole wall and basically just have it, might stick
Just
out a
that
few
wall is
inches.
2 inches thicker than it normally is.
Right.
but it covers the whole wall, so it looks like it's one uniform.
So you
thing.
wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you have Toulouse's crazy passive perception, you probably wouldn't notice it.
All right. Well,
Okay.
if we think we can get away with that, I'll cast that separately as well, and I'll give that its 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you take your time
100%
to
do that.
layer
Now,
the wall.
my main concern... Sorry, DM.
You take your time to layer the wall with stone.
Hold on. Alright, team. Now my main concern is we got to get this grimoire back to, Dan, whatever, our dwarf, or not dwarf, dark elf, wizard Viserion. We got to get this tome to him, right? How are we going to do that without alerting House Ben, right? Or allowing ourselves the leeway of half-truths? We remove the evidence.
Slash, if a
Slash
drow
the
woman were to leave this place, just walk out the gate, how much interrogation are they likely to get?
Not much.
You feel
Can you
comfortable
say
taking this home back to Verizian?
I'm
I
perfect.
suppose.
Well, no, I can do it. I don't want to put you into an awkward position here. But if
I
they're
think I can do it too. But, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, real quick, if you guys are thinking about disguising yourselves in any way, bad idea, because that's what they look for very specifically.
Yeah, I will
Also,
tell you,
Slash,
her
would you
taking
like
the
to
book
leave the city?
towards Verizian is not like her accomplishing your mission. It's more like her being a part of the mission, because you still need to talk with Benray, and that's the main thing you have to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, but is she going to be expected to show up with the rest of us? Or is she going to be like, so where's your little friend?
She might say, like, where's your friend? But honestly, you are the main concern. And as long as you guys'
If Slash
story is good, it might not matter.
Yeah, if Slash is comfortable with doing that, I assume she is, because she doesn't like being in the city at all.
I think I can get the book out of here too and not cause any suspicion.
All right, lay the plan on me.
Echo does it for us.
The bat carrying a big book, being
Yeah.
looked at by spiders the whole time.
Well, no, the bat grabs the book. I cast polymorph extended time on it so that the bat looks like a different bird, and then
The bat looks like a bird. That's
but when I
more
polymorph
concerning.
when I polymorph, all the things that the target is holding or carrying morph into it, so it's completely gone, and then Boom can just snap him into his alternate dimension for a while, and then snap him out once we're outside again.
I'm sorry. Can a familiar be snapped out of existence and then into existence with items? Or under the
if the
effect of a
items-
polymorph spell?
The
That's a
target's
DM
mirror melds
question,
into the
really.
new form.
Genuinely, I am not sure. Like, Kobo's plan could theoretically work. I just never encountered it before. If I had to guess,
But
if
yeah.
they are, like, bamped back into Boom's interdimensional plane where he can house his familiar, it would probably, like, drop anything it's carrying.
But I see what Kobo's doing is by doing the polymorph, technically it's not carrying
Yeah,
anything.
it's, like,
It's
inside
part of
the
it.
being.
Sure,
Yeah.
but polymorph lasts an hour. Right?
Yeah, but with the
And
extended
I
spell,
can
like,
extended time it.
Okay.
yeah, like, in theory, it could work. Yeah.
In theory, it's possible. All right.
So, when we have Echo grab onto the book and hold it there for a minute while he's holding it, I can zap him into something else, and then you can familiar poof him away, and then it's completely out. What do you say?
Does provide us with rather a time limit, though. So if for
Alright.
any reason House Banray isn't completely above board and, I don't know, throws us in irons
2
or tries to
hours,
kill us,
4
there's a
hours.
time limit associated with that.
8 hours. Wait a second.
Yeah, but okay, it may be a time limit, but this isn't exactly something that's unresolvable in the sense that as long as I can still summon Echo back, Kobo could theoretically do it again.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend the 5 sorcery points on it and make the polymorph last for 24 hours.
Okay.
That should give us
Okay.
at least some time.
Could have just had the NPC walk it out, but sure.
Well,
Echo, like, grabs onto the book. You polymorph them into a bird.
oh, actually, hold on. Yeah, maybe if Slash is okay with this, we could go ahead and do it that way. Go with the straightforward approach.
All right. As long as we're all
Hey,
good
it's
with
up
it,
to you
we're good
guys.
with it.
This is your spell.
Either way.
This does
Yeah, I can't. I mean,
improves
I
the
can't
odds of
assume
completing
that
the
having-
mission.
Yeah, well, I just also can't imagine that a follower of Selune, in the presence of a drow matron is going to be.
It's not going to be missed.
Okay. Well, I thought she was in front of the drow matron once already, and she knew about her. But yeah, having a drow woman just literally walk out the gates, she'll be out of the city before we get back to House Banray.
What are you doing, miss? Fuck off, male. Okay.
That works too. Sorry, I was being overly complicated.
This entire
The part's just a neat
session has
idea.
been over
If we didn't,
complicated.
if we didn't have Slash, like that's a brilliant idea. That's really clever. But it's a Rube Goldberg machine version of just give it to the person who won't be questioned.
Okay, that works. We do that.
Yeah. Like, Gothos' spider
Let's-
thing did
let's
work
all
for a
go.
while until it didn't.
It never worked.
Yeah,
No
like
one
what,
was distracted by
minutes?
it.
Lots of people were, but when you told your spider specifically to interact with guards, that's when it went awry. That was literally
Anyway.
you messing up your own plan.
Yeah, I can't help myself.
At any rate,
I'm happy with either way. If you guys want to spend the points and do the bad thing, or if we just want to spend Slash, I don't care.
yeah, currently she's out of the
We'll
square,
send-
so she's in
All right.
Schrodinger's owl situation. She's either with the group or without the group. You don't know until you open the box.
Let's
Why
send
don't we
Slash.
send let's send
and
Slash
figure-
and send the bat with her so that we know what's going on. Sound good?
That works.
Yeah, sounds good, boss.
Yeah. Although we won't know what's going on until after I summon Echo back to find out what's going on. Because it's going to take more than
Do you
an hour to
not-
get to the gate, right?
Yeah, it's all good.
You not have like a mile brain link with your familiar?
It's like the gate is more than a mile.
And it's actually pretty short, I think. It was closer to like 100 feet for the find familiar. If I were a warlock,
Yeah, it is.
Also, you
It
need
would
to be in
be-
the same plane of existence. So
yeah,
if it would shift planes, then it's
yeah. While your familiar's
Okay.
within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically.
Okay.
So
But you're
let's
sending
everyone
Slash
get our
out.
story
You're
straight.
sending
We'll make-
Echo. You're on your way
Yeah.
to House Band Ray, getting your story straight.
Yeah.
Probably
So
not
we-
getting our
we-
story straight.
We entered Gromp's inner sanctum, disabled some traps, found his spell book and some other related
where's the spell book?
paraphernalia. Oh, it's we removed it from the equation.
Yeah. You send Maya with
It's
Slash.
no longer in the city.
You're discussing this in your brain, so you're not saying it out loud.
Shouldn't this thing be shredded, evidence destroyed, such as it is?
I'll evidence
The evidence is no longer present in the city.
It all depends on how you phrase it. You either roll deception or persuasion.
Well, okay, let me ask this question then. Who's going to be doing the talking?
You, of course.
Over here, I got +5 to persuasion and +9 to persuasion, +5 to deception.
You said +9 to persuasion?
Yes, I did.
Oh, do you have expertise in that?
No, he's a pally.
Nope.
Which is very
5
good.
charisma, 4 proficiency. I'm just
All right.
charming.
Well, how would you like an even more silver tongue than usual?
Sounds like it would pay the bills.
It begins to paint your tongue silver with
Yeah.
iodine and mercury.
Silvery barbs.
You die.
Yeah.
For an hour, I can make you exceptionally persuasive.
Get another +4 to that? I don't mind.
But we'll probably want to wait till we're close, because again, that's only good for an hour. So let me know when you want it.
You guys are a block away now.
All right. And you're doing the talking, and you're going to attempt to persuade?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to very specifically try to not lie. Also, probably casting spells in the presence of a drow matron will get us all instantly killed. Let's get all this out beforehand.
Yeah, I just want to do that 5 minutes before as opposed to 65 minutes before. All right. I'm going to boop Gothos on the nose again. Hopefully this time it doesn't trigger a battle. and I'm going to cast Skill Empowerment to give him expertise in Persuasion.
Bardic Inspiration isn't necessarily a spell. Is that something I think I can get away with giving, or no?
If you think so, it's definitely an activated effect that could potentially be seen. Same with like Hunter's Mark or what's it called? The Druid's Wild Shape. Well, not a spell.
How does Kobo give Bardic Inspiration?
Normally I'm talking with or making a little dance or just acting heroic.
That would look weird.
Depends.
Just doing a little dance. Like,
It's not magic.
Deceive, the evil drow matron.
What did you say?
Maybe I can just hold your hand. Maybe I can just hold your hand as we're standing there, and I can give you a little squeeze on your hand and be Bardic Inspiration.
Like, it's not, as long as it's not maybe a boom song or a dance, you could like alter it so it's like a pat on the back or something like that. Something that's still weird, but like not excessively weird.
Yeah, like holding your hand and giving you a little squeeze, or standing next to you and being able to pat you on the back or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to get you a root so you can.
Gothos, you are not inspired just yet, but going to be. But with Boom, you begin to interact, and magic is formed to cast your silvery tongue into silvery barbs. A little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, and as long as it stays up, you won't have an issue. Soon enough.
Do not bend the truth too much.
Soon enough, you get to the gate, and your teammates are flanking you along the way. The two guards are standing at attention, and they do note you. Like they don't bow their head, but they like do the whole bobbing head thing. Like, we know who you are. You can go ahead and inside.
Half nod.
Yeah. You guys enter inside, and there the matriarch stands. Well, doesn't stand. She's always sitting. She looks towards you.
Standing on the throne for fun.
Sitting on the throne, and then she sits down. Oh, back so soon. Surprising, but not an unwelcome one, says the matron mother, Quanthel Banray. Now then, what exactly did you discover along your journey?
Many magical traps, Your Matron, a few of which were dispelled by my stalwart companions. Additionally, we found some evidence of Gromp's indiscretions. However, we've removed all evidence of that from Enzo Baranzan.
Did you now? Gothos, go ahead and roll insight first.
Okay. Insight, you'll say. Dirty 20.
It's not bad. You can already tell that she is contemplating potentially killing you. Potentially. She hasn't thought it just yet, like making it for sure thing. The one thing you might have messed up on is straight up telling her that you found evidence that her house, technically her brother, but her house nonetheless, was potentially responsible for said incident. But you could assuage that if you think on your feet quick enough.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally to
contingencies. Oh yeah, go for it.
Mentally to Gothos, might be worth suggesting that Gromp himself is still a loose end that we're qualified to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, during the course of our investigation, we discovered Gromp has a mastery of extra-dimensional spaces and portals, which could potentially allow him easy access back to Menzo Baranzan, which we attempted to discourage, but that's more from the Menzo Baranzan end. We can do nothing about his own magical prowess. Additionally, certain contingencies have been made to our own survival.
How so?
If I told you, you'd kill me.
Fair enough. But as long as there's no repercussions on our house's end, then you have no fear of death. Oh, so you did not really assuage her. You more or less said, we have contingencies for our safety.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's...
Mentally into Gothos' head, I'd like to say really quickly, tell her that we are able to follow the trail and that we could hunt him down for her, obliterating all traces of her house connection.
We do and have found, however, several leads as to what Grump may be planning and how to prevent that, which is, I believe, in our best interest to pursue.
Yeah, that's
However,
not the best, but it's good enough.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Okay.
As
expertise,
Kobo
so
gives
it's
you
gonna
a
be
pat on the back.
+4.
Yeah,
So that's 19 natural, and if we're getting inspiration, 1d6. What's your inspo?
1d6.
I will state DC to beat is
21?
22.
22! Oh no. I got a 21.
I'm going to use a nom on this because he would have done this. Go ahead and roll D4.
I'm gonna try.
Can I use a luck point?
No. Gothos roll D4.
What?
I don't know if this would count as helping, but I want to just jump in and say that Gromp is still the big loose end here, and nothing that's done to clean things up here helps. If he can still do his thing, we can take him out.
Yeah, that's good. Gothos, go ahead and roll again, and we'll take the higher roll.
Okay. What am I rolling again?
Persuasion.
Okay.
I would make Boom
I
do
rolled
it,
a
but...
lot of things. I just want to be sure.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, we'll take that one. Okay. Honestly, Boom, that's kind of what I was looking for. And that would have brought the DC lower. But not by much.
Teamwork.
But 26 is 26.
I mean, plus the
plus
expertise
bonuses,
that Boom gave me is, so it's a 30.
Yeah, again, plus bonuses. It would be beneficial to get rid of loose ends, or at the very least track them down and interrogate them. You are individuals that the council did see as favorable, and I don't know how they summoned you. But with this, it did bring things to light, and as long as you got rid of the evidence, the only loose ends are my brother and all of you. So long as you haven't looked into the evidence, then we shouldn't have too much of an issue, and I can even, once finding him, pay you and compensate you for your endeavor.
Well, I'm sure any such.
Do we believe her?
Roll insight if you want.
Well, and I'm sure any such evidence is horrible fabrications anyway. Obviously, there'd be nothing to discredit your house once we've dealt with Gromp.
Boom, roll. You're stroking her ego. Roll with advantage. Persuasion.
Alrighty.
He doesn't understand sarcasm. No.
My persuasion sucks.
It does seem like she is like into what you're putting down. And Gothos, from what you can tell, she does seem to be truthful. Like, at the exact same time, though, it's a matriarch drow woman compensating you, and that just might be a pat on the back, or like a good job, buddy. Or like she'll throw you a dungeon servant.
Your reward is a simple and fast death.
Yeah. That being the case, though, with Boom's persuasion, it does seem like she's into the idea of you hunting him down, and the things you found are like obviously a hoax. I will tell you that it wasn't a hard roll, but you just barely passed. Boom.
Alrighty.
Or he gets the 13.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, when dealing with someone very egotistic, as long as you follow that line, it's pretty, hard to fall off that line. That being the case, though,
Oh, most beautiful and smooth skin, God, Nathan.
yeah, that could have worked. That being the case, though, your team is more or less in the clear unless you guys mess up in any point in time right now. But she does state, very well then. As such, you are permitted to leave the city in hoping that you find this disappointment of a man. I do offer some services to you. That being, when you find him, I will send a garrison to assist in this matter, whether it be above and below. Deem one of yourselves, and I will place the mark of the spider upon you. And then you may summon one of our sending spiders to your side.
I feel like everybody's eyes widen just a little bit. We're all trying to be like, not it, not it, not it.
Oh no, I'm already looking right at you, leader guy.
Yeah. Antidote does state, what exactly does it entail? It's simply a mark of, not entirely sure what your surface individuals call them. Down here we call them tattoos. It uses a manifestation of a spider to cast a sending spell, similar to a familiar, but with a spell intertwined and interweaved within the familiar's body and core.
Ma'am?
Yeah, dibs not it.
She just looks towards you.
I feel like there's a moment where we're all just talking in the brain, like, kind of like being like,
Yeah, Antidote's more or less asking, like, are you able to spy? And unless you roll insight, she does tell you, like, it's basically a familiar you can summon that casts sending.
All right, well, hold
yeah,
on a second.
sure, but
Yeah, but
I will
while
go
you
ahead
are
and do
discussing
this
things,
first.
Kobo just states ma'am, and she looks towards you. From what you can tell, she's telling the truth. She has no real reason to lie.
I will receive your mark, ma'am.
yeah, Koa, that's fine. I'm really more worried about what the fact of, or what the mark of another god upon my own skin, how that would react. Probably not great for
Yes.
me.
But for me, it's fine because I don't have a gun.
That being said, though, it is the mark of a spider from a matriarch. It could have, like, different effects she's not aware of because she's accustomed to the culture. Like, she may not be lying, but that doesn't mean there aren't other effects.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting myself out at risk here. But yeah, I said I'll do it. Very.
One of my retainers, who you so graciously offered clemency to, shall accept this most bountiful boon.
Very well, then.
Nice. Just in her head. Nice.
Gotho said that. Unless you message her?
No, I'm not messaging her. I just said just in his head.
Oh, I heard her.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I did too.
No, that was to Gothos.
I
That
got
was
it.
to Gothos.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Gothos
No.
is very fluid. You can't tell with those goblins.
Yeah.
A lot of armor on them. Okay, you outstretch your hand and she begins to, like, outstretch hers, but your hands never meet. Rather, a spider, like, materializes in between hers and yours and jumps onto your arm. As soon as it does, it just bites.
bites you and bites you and bites.
It only bites
Get
once.
it off! Get it off!
It bites into your wrist, and soon enough, webs begin to form around it, almost like a tattoo, like a Halloween tattoo. Truly and honestly, it looks like that. Like one of those sleeves. Soon enough,
Yeah.
only the mark remains, and then when you try to focus in on it, a web begins to appear on the back of your palm. Simply enough, it is
And
done.
this-
The spider then, like, crawls off of your arm and then begins to, like, draw back towards her.
once or works forever?
We're going to identify this later.
I would assume mentally that we should only be using it if we got the job done right, so it would only need to be used once.
Do you say that in the head or outside?
I said
Oh, this is
mentally.
during class.
Okay, sorry.
All right. As I'm receiving the tattoo, I ask just for clarification: does this only work once, or does this stay forever?
Hopefully you're competent enough that you only require it once.
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't answer you, but she
Yeah,
more or
she
less
didn't answer me. Yeah, got it.
insulted you.
She's a draw
No, but she
matron.
did
She's not in
answer
the
me, though.
business of telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah, she didn't give you a direct
No,
answer,
she-
but you believe like you can use it more than once.
Yes, she did answer me in saying that if you need it more than once, you're an incompetent fool. So I'm only ever going to use this once, but it's not going to go away after I'm done using it, so I'm stuck with it for at least a while. That's all I was checking.
But she does look towards the rest of you. Very well then, you're all dismissed unless there's something else you need to discuss.
Not at this time, mistress. Thank you for your attention. We shall leave you to your more important duties.
Very well then. I did take note, however, that some of you did purchase a few slaves in town. They are not predominantly allowed to exit the city, as many of our magical secrets are intertwined within their body. But as you have done your duty, I suppose allowing one to go isn't a problem. And then a spider crawls down towards her shoulder and begins to, you think, whisper in her ear. It has come to my attention that one of your allies was seen walking through the gateway with a servant of hers, or a servant of yours. Did you perchance collect another one? And I did mention beforehand that Maya went with Slash, which was, the slave. You guys
Maya
found.
went with Slash? I thought the slave was already out.
I did mention that you guys found another slave that led you guys towards.
Oh,
Really
Oh,
understand?
yeah, that's right. Because she was showing us around the magic tower and everything.
Yeah, but that's not
the
our
dark,
slave.
The dark elf slave went
Mentally?
out. did she?
Yeah. She was a elf, not a dark elf, but a normal elf.
Yeah, she was a half
Because
elf.
you had said something along the lines of the dark elves. Yeah, must love enslaving other elf races. But mentally, to Gothos really quickly, can we prove that they were together? Maybe she just walked out behind Slash. Can we
I
really
did
compare
mention-
ourselves to stealing a slave.
Again, I already mentioned that stroking her ego could help, or accommodating to their culture.
Yeah. We did not think it was relevant to mention such a lowly slave to one as mighty as you. And
I think Gothos is just bad with the matriarch.
apparently, damn.
You can do it. Good.
It's not the
You've got
worst
my
thing
hand
to
on your
say.
shoulder.
It's just
Squeeze.
not at all what I thought you were going to say.
Well, I was about to be cheeky. I'm not saying this, but I was going to say, well, I did say we had a contingency plan.
Oh, better. The one of our party who left was a drow female. If she took a slave with her, far be it from us to dictate her policy. As in, even though she's not a matron, she's still a drow female and better than us. Get the idea? Stroke.
Could work.
Yeah.
While this conversation's going on, I'm looking around. Why are we worried? Okay, if we're allowed to have one slave and that slave is gone already, I mean, do we have another slave with us?
Well,
Yeah,
as far as I
that's
know-
correct. We already
There's
let
the
the
halfling slave.
the halfling
The
slave. she's
halfling
gone.
slave is
Nobody
gone.
cares.
She's with Verizian and the dwarven shield guardians. I did mention
We're
beforehand
talking
that you
about
found Maya, the person that led you towards the outer sanctum. And then when
But
you
isn't
guys
that
were
somebody
heading
else's
out,
slave?
Yeah,
She is
she was
somebody
giving us
else's
the tour
slave.
of the place.
yeah, and you guys
Yeah.
brought her along. And I did mention that when Slash was heading out, she was also following. And then you guys just either ignored it or didn't hear me.
Hmm.
Or didn't connect
One
the
or the
dots
other.
in our brains.
We
And whatever Brax is
bowed
doing at 5 a.m. in the morning.
we
What?
acted in deference to a drow female in our party who thought it would be beneficial to House Banray to remove this slave from the city.
Yeah, I don't think you are the best person to speak with her. We act indifferent to our betters. Is basically what you're saying to her. No, Koba, I understand what you think. But the way it was worded, it's like, we don't care what she does. It doesn't matter what she does.
You expected us to stop a drow female from doing anything in your city?
I'm just going to have Antidote save you.
Yeah.
What he means to say, this particular individual of our group clearly has a better understanding and grasp of the situation at hand, and perhaps she found someone that caught her interest. And, well, her property is her own, and she is above us in station, as you well know. Even though Gothos started it, I'm going to say Gothos roll persuasion with advantage thanks to Antidote. I don't like using NPCs, but I also don't want you to die.
I'm squeezing your shoulder. Roll a d6.
We need better than this 22. Sure.
I will tell you who you do, but not by much.
25?
Yeah, the DC to beat was 24.
Ah, dang.
She did
I'm
allow one,
simultaneously the
but then
best
she
and the
discovered
worst
you had
person to
two
talk to.
going out. So it would have to be harder. She just looks towards you, Gothos. I suppose if things catch your fancy. From what I can tell, that individual is Sorcerer Denmark's succubus slave. Very well, I'll compensate him for his property. You may go. I do hope you don't retrieve any other miscellaneous things along the way.
Pardon our ignorance and intellectual failings, matron. I'm not used to deference.
She more or less like waves her hand like, whatever. Do you guys head out before?
Entering the old needle jar. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you guys begin to
Yeah,
bail.
and I guess if we've got this other slave, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this slave by the arm and
No. We don't have the other slaves. The slave went with Slash.
Yeah. Slash left with the elf lady that was showing us around the mage tower. But the elf lady's not an elf lady. She just told us that she's a succubus. But if the matron thinks that we're taking that slave because she had knowledge that the matron lady doesn't want out, then we're doing her a favor.
Okay,
She's gonna
then.
compensate.
So
Okay.
then, how did the other slave get out, or is the other slave still around?
The other
halfling
slave was the
slave left
halfling.
earlier.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
halfling
straight up
slave
tell
left
you
the city.
as cleanly as possible what happened. You guys spoke with the matriarch. You guys said you needed to put your stuff away, and she considered, the first slave stuff. Kobo sent her out with Verizian, and then you guys came back in. She allowed that to happen because, if you were useful, she would let things go here and there. You guys did your job, came back, and as far as she could tell, you were successful and are now potentially on pursuit of her brother. She then stated to you, while she doesn't usually allow slaves to go, she is allowing the first one to go cleanly. And then, because, the gates are very surveyed, she discovered that another one came out with Slash. You guys persuaded her into thinking, Slash does her thing. if she found something useful to her, who are we to judge her? Gothos rolled well, and she more or less agreed on it and allowed it to happen because also Gothos rolled very well. She nodded, and then you begin to head out. Then Kobo did mention that the new slave Maya is a succubus.
Yeah, no, that was in our heads. That was not said out loud.
I know. I'm just saying.
But yeah, the matron said that our new slave's a succubus, not a half elf. The succubus can look like a half elf, but the succubus is much more dangerous, and so we have to get back to Slash quickly to make sure that she doesn't have her life force sucked out of her.
Sorry,
As soon as the moment
say that?
she did say succubus, I remembered hearing that, and
missed
we
that.
wouldn't have any reason to know that beforehand. All right, well, with that in mind, then wait a minute. It's been less. No, it's been more. Yeah.
It's been more than an hour.
All right. The moment we get outside, I'm going to go ahead and sending to Slash, and it's like, just so you know, your new companion is apparently a succubus. I think that's less than 25 words.
She and the other slave went with the shield guardians, as far as I can tell, to be led to the surface safely.
All right,
I
well.
want to check on that.
All right.
That might not be good for the shield guardians.
You guys begin to more or less rush back. Get to the gate. No one stops you because, currently you were allowed to leave, and obviously they were told. You guys
Bobo's like, spider tattoo, get the fuck out.
You flip them off.
No.
You can turn away.
I want to so bad, but I'm being good. I want to
Isn't
so
this a
bad,
mark
but I
of
just look
respect?
over.
You begin to get to Verizon and Slash, and she does look towards all of you. Okay, so, Succubus Slater, whatever she is, I honestly believe you. Boom. She disappeared along the pathway the Shield Guardians were taking. We don't know where she is, but she didn't do anything from what we can tell.
So you've heard from the Shield Guardians?
Yeah. From what I can tell, they're leading the current former slave back to the surface as smoothly as possible.
Like, why are they all leaving immediately? I thought they were supposed to have our back. Oh, suck it. Dang.
Probably were convinced
Right?
by her, maybe? Verzian does state, I forgot his tone. Well, from what I can remember, the succubus, as you stated, came in, spoke with the Shield Guardians from some time, and they came up to us stating that they feared that these two could potentially not survive down here, especially with the upcoming onslaught, and being the gentlemen as they are, as well as, protectors of the innocent, decided to take it upon themselves to reach the surface with them in tow. If I had to guess, perhaps they were charmed. Or they're just devoted to life.
I don't think they're going to be alive much longer if they don't even know. But
Slash did state that
about that right now.
the person disappeared on them, but they are making it towards the surface safely. Well, as safely as possible.
All right, what the heck? I got one dumb idea here, as long as I'm wasting spell slots. Who was it that, was it the leader of the Shield Guardians that announced this?
Yeah, you know him as
it makes sense.
Drake.
All right, I am going to go ahead and attempt to send a message to Drake, and one of your rescued slaves may be a succubus. You might want to return immediately.
You might want to
The
specify
tall
which
one. Yeah.
How would we know that she hasn't taken the halfling's form?
Very well.
She's
I'll
still a halfling.
try to see what I can do, what we can do. 45
A
minutes
halfling
later.
counts as a small. Sorry.
45 minutes later, they return with the only remaining slave that they had left, which was the halfling. and the 2 shield dwarves. As mentioned beforehand, Maya did escape along the way, or disappeared along the way.
Wait, so Maya disappeared along the way to the dwarves?
While they were leaving.
Well,
I mentioned this
okay.
several times.
if
So
Maya
wait a
was
minute.
slave, if the succubus was a slave as well, then maybe she just used us to escape, and she isn't going to eat us. She's just going to disappear.
Or,
Well, let
when
me
you
double
guys
check.
said demons are coming here, survival instincts.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, if this is all legit, then Maya should still be wearing the slave collar, right?
She has it on, but it's not active.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and activate the collar. So I go ahead and say the code phrase. Damn it, Kobo!
Immediately,
What happens?
zones out, white eyes, basically becomes a shell of a person that can't do much other than simple tasks.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use the code phrase again to disable it.
It disables. She's mortified.
Okay.
Yeah, why did we do that?
To make sure that this is in fact our halfling slave and not the succubus disguised as the halfling slave.
The shield
Yeah, I feel
guardians are
like
giving you
perhaps
mean
former
looks.
slave. Yeah, like former slave. Come on, we don't. I mean, we bought her, but we don't own her.
They're currently consulting her
Look.
on the trauma you just gave her.
She is still a slave until she is far enough away to be safely considered free.
Okay.
All right, so
Looks again. But that's it. Antidote does
gonna-
state, I suppose that is supposedly useful. If she was, disguised, she probably wouldn't have been easily taken over that way. And the one...
plus also I don't think she'd have willingly put on the slave collar. Probably would have been some weird illusion or some nonsense.
That too, and the other one didn't have a collar on her as well, so why would they impede themselves any further if they were trying to escape, presumably?
All right, well, if that succubus chose to leave instead of messing with you guys, and the slave is okay, and just to make sure, none of you guys have noticed any odd behavior out of any other members of your group?
Not that we can tell. I don't believe so.
Probably good.
I don't think so. The
All right.
person you just traumatized says nothing.
Actually, now we're outside the city. Can we just go ahead and take that off? That was for show.
Yeah.
I'm not super comfortable collaring an innocent child, essentially.
Close to a child,
Go
truly
ahead,
an
Ray.
adult. You guys remove the collar, or the shield guardians do. The ones that
No, I remove it.
Okay, all the while she is beating sweat, terrified, limbs trembling with fear. You remove it.
Hey, you don't need to worry. We don't think you're a succubus anymore.
That is not why she's afraid. But okay.
Yeah, I know that.
Virizion the
Fucking Boom being like, it's okay. I don't think you're gonna try and fuck me to death. He's like, oh god.
Virizion the state. Well, other than that, hopefully you managed to gather the... Well, let's walk and talk. You guys begin to go down the pathway. Well then, other than that, you all managed to, I assume, acquire the grimoire. Please say yes, or otherwise, why are you here?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I should have already given it to Vizran.
He looks towards her. Oh, I suppose I probably should have asked you for it then. Oh, yeah, sorry. Kinda was waiting to see what the team was up to in case, I don't know, you double-crossed us and expected something. I suppose that's fair.
Actually, that's probably a good idea. If you'd just given him the grimoire, he probably would have just fucked off.
He just looks towards you. You're not entirely wrong. Presumably if you were captured or something of that nature, I would have left you in town.
And ye of little faith, I mean, literally every step of the way we've come through for you. You wouldn't have any components for this spell if it weren't for us.
Yes.
I mentally calculate just how tiny that sliver of margin of success has actually been. I don't say anything out loud, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even though it's small, success is success. Even if you were dangerously close to failing sometimes. Verizian does state, regardless of that, you did tremendous work. Congratulations. Did you place the talisman heart inside the city like I mentioned beforehand?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. It'll take some time, but they'll eventually get here. However, you're more than welcome to wait in my abode, the Vengeance Tower, whatever you want to call it. It is still strange that that translates in common that way. Nevertheless, though, more than welcome to go there, especially since half your team is there.
That
Well, I have
works.
to admit, I am very interested to see what happens from this mess, unless we've got anything else we need to accomplish in the meantime.
Oh, just real quick, can someone identify that tattoo on Kobo?
I suppose so.
I'll spend 10 minutes to cast that.
No, perfect. I don't have to waste this spell slot. You take 10 minutes to ritually identify it. And it is known as the spell. And actually, it's kind of hard to tell. You can definitely read it, but there are 3 factors inside the spell. One is a specific summon familiar spider. It can't summon anything else, it has to be a spider. But the spider can be as big as a. Have you ever heard of those trapdoor spiders in Australia? Those big boys.
Oh, wait a
Spawn
second.
tiles?
Are you actually talking about the South American tree spider, the one that eats birds?
No.
It's about the size of a
No,
cat.
the Australian trapdoor spider.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it's that the Australian one isn't a trapdoor spider. It's a wolf spider and can have up to 8-inch length legs, like the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah, it's about that big. Or you can summon up to a standard small tarantula size. Well, tarantula is still pretty big, but you know what I mean.
Okay.
It also has the effect of a sending spell. Thank you, Thomas. I would not know how to pronounce that to begin with. And it also has.
That's Harry Potter. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
I still state what I state. That being the case, though, boom, you can also tell that there is a curse intertwined within the mechanics of the spell in Kobo now. Not sure what
Well,
you're saying.
bad news, Kobo. You've cursed the tattoo somehow.
Well, just what does the curse do? Come on.
You can't fully read it, but it connects to some thing, some being. The way the curse works, or at least the way you can denote it, this being is connected with Kobo in some way or fashion or form. It's not the other way around. Kobo doesn't, interact with that being corrupting them. It's more or less the other way around.
Some
So
being
this doesn't-
or entity has linked itself to you.
So it's not corrupting, but it can always look in on me.
Possibly. It's not the matron. You know that for sure. Like, boom, you can tell it's not connected towards Menzo Borenzen. It's like a different plane of existence altogether.
Is it Luth?
Might be.
Lulth?
You don't know.
Luth? Can part of this be broken without the rest being broken?
Probably not. Since you don't know how
Well-
to cast this specific spell.
Well, it depends.
Well,
How
I
much
do
of
have
that arm
eraser
did you
ink,
want to
and it is
keep?
a tattoo. I do have 1 vial of eraser ink with 4 doses, and I don't know it myself, but I remember Toulouse telling me about it at some point. Or maybe it was Roswell who told me about it at some point. But there's a spell called non-detection. Would that work? Or is this different than that?
Depending on who gave it to you, hopefully it's not House Ben, right? Or
Why would you say
Orden.
that? Why would you say that?
They're very passionate about, being at Walt's side. Either house.
Of course it was House Ben, right?
Oh,
Kobo, have you ever considered
you are
just
likely
visiting
now
a qualified
tethered with
cleric?
Loth.
I would be attached to Loth.
In a matter of speaking, kind of. You'd likely be swayed or persuaded in her shape or form, or cursed in a way that would cause you to face trials of various sorts.
Those are bad trials. You don't want to.
And it's definitely a curse.
If, in a way, they consider it a blessing. Like, they quite literally live for being facing trials of love, facing them, being the champions of them, and then saying, "See, I survived, all thanks to the power of love," and things of that nature. By the way, by and
So
by,
it's
don't
bragging
ask for help from her. That is like the one thing you shouldn't do.
So
From who?
it's basically bragging rights.
Loth.
I survived 3
sort of.
trials of Loth. Okay, and other drow recognize this tattoo like that?
They'll recognize the symbol, of course, but they won't recognize you as a champion of some sort. They'll just see that you are tethered to one of the matrons, which could help you depending on what you decide to do.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking now. Okay.
That being the case, though, not everyone survives the trials. And honestly, that's by trials, I do mean Loth messing with someone's life, potentially murdering them, having their family try to kill them, and in turn, you have to kill them to prove your worth and loyalty. She could also do that with friends. You know, maybe not something you want.
Wonderful.
It's not something I want, which is why I left. Well, technically banished.
No.
Presumed
I
it.
I can, I mean, if you want, Kobo, I can try to remove curse or consecrate a holy symbol of my god and just kind of put it on top of that and wrap it up and see if that helps at all.
Verisian Death State. You could remove it if you'd like. Removing it would remove the entire thing, though. Consecration and dispelling it would and could work. But whatever you intended it for, it would be gone at that point. But honestly, probably
But
for the better.
We do need the other 2 portions of the spell, right? The tattoo. We need the other 2 portions because she's going to expect us to call her once at least. So we can't get rid of the curse.
Yeah, fuck it
without
though. I
getting
mean,
rid of the-
Were you actually planning on following through with that?
Yeah, Antidote does state. I thought we were all
Yeah,
lying on
really.
that part.
Oh, okay. I thought we actually were going to go do that.
No, I thought we were just
Okay.
trying to get out of there without dying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the
you
whole-
want to go
Thought we were
back
gonna
and
murder the
make-
bitch.
The whole point
Yeah,
in bringing
okay.
up Gromp was his leverage that, that all the loose ends aren't cleared up, that there's loose ends remaining that conveniently require us to leave alive.
Okay. Yeah, okay, we can do that. Yeah.
I mean,
I thought I had to keep this thing so that we could contact her, but if we're all good with just screwing her off, then we can we can take it off.
it might be worth leaving it there for a little while just to provide the illusion of good faith, just in case that severance is otherwise noticed.
I think
But
it
yeah.
would be. Okay.
Verisian does state, more or less. Give it some time, give it a couple of days, and then probably get rid of it.
Mhm.
Also, making some distance between you and the city itself would help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so do you want me to consecrate a coin and wrap your hand up, or do you just want me to remove the curse in a couple of days?
maybe you should just remove the curse in a couple of days. Don't give her any forewarning. If you
Okay.
concentrate
In the
on
meantime,
going,
we're
wrap my
probably
hand
not
up.
gonna probably not gonna give you a whole lot of information
understand.
on what we're doing next, just because you know.
Yeah, I'll plug my ears and go la la la. I understand, but you don't want to give her forewarning because she might be able to use the connection to hurt me before you actually get rid of it.
Potentially. Either way, let's get going. We do have a ways to walk, and then we're going to use the teleportation circle. As you begin to walk along the way, as more or less, I don't know why you thought you were going to do the job. You straight up were just lying. Unless you want to do it, I
I don't
guess.
know.
Not
No,
necessarily
Kobo was confused.
lying, bending the truth.
Bending the truth.
Yeah, Kobo got confused. Those persuasion checks from Gothos were very convincing.
Fair enough. As you move
Yeah, it
along
was
the
more
way,
establishing that we could do it, not that we would.
yeah. As you move along the way, thinking of what bending the truth truly means, everyone begins to feel a weird sensation in your mind, including Bract, even though it technically wouldn't affect Bract because story reasons. Suddenly, you see a whole bunch of spores on your person spread out into the group, hitting everyone. Sorry, Bract. I would make you roll a save, but this needs to happen according to context clues. Anyways, as soon as that happens, you do see a soft glowing light rises from ahead, emanating from a vast cavern. The entire surface of the cave, floor and walls and ceilings, is blanketed in moss and fungi, all in shades of white and soft pastels pink, violet, green, and pale blue. The diffused light in the mushroom shred makes the vast vista waver as if seen through mist. You hear Rakas, a voice says in your mind. You turn to see a mechanoid sovereign standing beside you that you can clearly tell is an illusion within your own mindscape, where there was no one before. Recognizing Basidia, the Neverlight Grove. And you guys remember Basidia was the sovereign leader guy that, you helped out, and then his city got taken over anyways.
Yeah, he was the good guy before the whole wedding crashing adventure.
Yeah. They continue. The greatest and largest being of our world, the Mechanoid says sadly, all that you see before you is a Rakas. All this and much more. All is in danger from the corruption that will claim the whole of the world if you do not help us. I do not know why, but this matriarchal being, this bride, has found potentially a new groom. And we do need your help, or else we may face something even worse than a wedding.
Is this just a vision, or can we respond?
It feels like a vision, but you guys can clearly respond. As you think this, you are like saying this in everyone's mind. And then you see two other beings around you. You do see Stool, which was the guy you guys were also trapped in the beginning of this adventure. The guy you saved and brought back to town.
We helped him out.
Yeah. And the other guy who was, Stool's caretaker in that city and town, whose name I forget.
That was the one who gave me the tattoo. I should remember his name, but I don't.
I don't remember.
Wasn't Stool's caretaker like the fish guy?
No, I thought Stool's buddy was that high and mighty fungoid guy.
Yeah, fungal warrior dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kobo would remember his name because Kobo's very grateful to him, but Tyler doesn't remember his name. So
yeah, neither does DM. It's not in my notes.
okay.
But yeah, Basidia says that, and he does state, right now we do face potential danger due to Zuckmoid finding Aramakas. Her, I don't know what they would be called, bridesmaids are currently placing them under a ritual effect to cause them to be drowsed and unconscious. We do need your help to get rid of this situation at hand. I don't know why they went in a different direction they were moving, but they are, and they might have found this now.
I
Where
said
are
we have
you?
to help.
He tells you where he is within the. Now he like shows you a not hologram, but illusionary script map of the area depicting where he is, and because the fungal network is so large, like it depicts from your point to their point. It is not a straight shoot from A to B, but it is a pathway that you can easily follow, and within a few days you can definitely get there. Versian does look towards it and he goes, it's not a place I've been, so I'm afraid I cannot cast a magical circle there. But I can get you
I still think we
close,
can get there.
like 2 days out, give or take.
I think I can get us the rest of the way. I know enough of the Underdark, plus looking at this map, I should be able to help guide us a little bit.
Right. I can get you there, and I can definitely summon myself to where your last location is. And as long as you're able to call me, I can definitely bring you guys back. But I do need to go back to my tower, to get rid
Well,
of this book.
If we can in some way disrupt Zuckmoy from getting there, then it's going to be the other two fiends descending on Menzo Branzan that definitely aren't going to get married. So sounds good to me.
Yeah. I forget his name. The warrior dude, who is I'm just gonna call them Gideon. Why not? Gideon does look towards all of you, and he does state, right. Well, if I was likely, someone that got stood up at the altar before I got there, more than likely they're gonna cause a ruckus here, and I prefer my people not to only be enslaved but also die due to the X potentially killing everyone. I would honestly more than welcome your help, if at all possible, rather than waiting for them to get to where all of you are. If, I'm not asking too much.
Yeah, no, at the very least, if we can, even if we can't kill Zuckmoy, having her descend upon Menzo Branzan in a severely weakened state is going to be probably a little juicy for the other fiends to resist.
Basidia does state, that would be appreciated, but at the exact same time, we would prefer her not communing with Aramakas. They are the largest being in the Underdark, if not in the entire plane of existence on this world. They are quite literally the fungal network within the Underdark system. They are nearly all-encompassing to the degree that I can communicate with you now, and she is slowly corrupting those connected to their tethers, which unfortunately does involve my people. The faster you can assist us, the better. We can do a few things, but I can lead you here, but at the exact same time, I only have so many I can protect.
Right. If I assume that some members of our team might require a bit of a rest, but then we're gonna, unless anybody on the team objects, small rest. Then
It will take you guys days to get there, and he does state he can hold off for a while, but not forever. So you will have your long rest.
We're going to teleport back to the Tower of Vengeance and then teleport as close as we can and make our way to where Zuckmoy is. Right? Sound good?
Right. I will lead you as close as possible, and I will give you hints and clues. Right now, the spores that Stool had left with you are protecting you for the most part, but the closer you get, the more likely you'll be infected by the... I don't really know what to call them. Let's call them anti-spores for now.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you get close enough to the center of Aramakas, I can locate you better. And once finding you, I can put you under my shroud of protection as well. So do not dilly-dally or get too far away. We are dealing...
No distractions.
Hopefully, no distractions. We are dealing with corrupted fungi, as well as potentially slimes down here, as more and more have been appearing along the corridors. I do wish you well, and I do wish you luck.
Prepare your fire spells, everyone.
Yeah.
Try not to burn everything. We are trying to save everyone, and we do need, bodies and room to regrow.
I was under the impression that ashes were for... Anyway, we're going to burn the corruption. We're not just going to
Okay,
go
okay,
willy-nilly.
that does make sense. Sorry, I was fearing the worst.
Well, I mean, Stool, come on, we helped you, right? We're
Yeah.
not completely... We've banished Sakumoy once already. It's not like we're complete fools.
I don't think he was there for that, but he, heard your story. Yeah, you guys got it. I think you're good. Hopefully you are. Honestly, you come very recommended by Stool, and he is the truest of heart that can read minds. Well, hearts. That would make more sense. Right then. Let's burn this corruption. Let's gut it out from the root, and hopefully Aramakis will be cleansed, and hopefully you can help us, because I see no one else that can. Right.
Yeah, everybody's pretty terrible down here.
We will meet you here in a few
Not
days.
You're not from down here.
I understand what you mean. Things are pretty bad down here, but this is the place we live. We can't exactly live on the surface world. We would literally shrivel up and die.
Yeah, there's definitely no near Underdark caves for you guys. I mean, I say that unironically because probably people from the surface would kill and eat you.
Yeah, it's more than likely. We are considered a delicacy. Right. Well, unfortunately, this is the time I have to head out. So do take care. And the vision begins to fade and end. Version does state. Yeah, I don't really know who that is. Right then. Tower of Vengeance then teleporting you as close as they can.
Thumbs up.
Sounds good.
Bam! Tower of Vengeance. He then takes the book to his study area, puts it there, comes back down. All right then. Those
I
are.
feel like I don't need to say this to you, but also I'm going to say it. It's a very powerful book. Maybe don't get like corrupted by it.
Speaking
how
of
books are.
Speaking of powerful books, I know you don't have the time, Mr. Verenzen, sir, but I don't suppose you have a book in Undercommon. I can read Undercommon. I don't suppose you have a book in Undercommon that tells me a little bit more about. I kind of point to my wrist and, the Lolth Spider Lady.
Are you trying to learn? Oh, wait, sorry, it's his cadence. Are you trying to learn to enhance it?
I'm trying to learn what I'm infected with. You want to learn anything about a cold when you've got a cold.
Well,
Doesn't
here's a
mean you
tip
wanna
right off
keep
the
the
bat.
cold.
Probably don't say the Spider Lady's name anymore.
True.
See, that's something that I might need to know. I will remember that. But
Yeah.
you get the idea.
I'll just tell you what you need to know. Remove it within a few days, and that's it.
Yeah, I can do that. Well, I have the potential to do that. I don't know how strong it is.
There's no need for tampering. Right now, she is actively aware of what you are, who you are, and potentially can mess with your life, as you are now mocked by her.
The Caesarian's like, shit, and you know where? My tower.
Well, to a degree, I am protected here. Like, she can outstretch her web as far as it reaches out, and there's a very thin string on Kobo now. But not, perfect.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering about a spell of non-detection, or if...
yeah, Tower does that.
Let me...
Tower of non-detection.
Yeah. Or if she wouldn't allow other things to infect me because I'm already her property.
No, in fact, she might consider that a trial to mess with your life.
Yeah.
She might make it easier. She's not here to protect you.
Oh, no, it's not protection, it's greed. It's like, no, that's my toy, not your toy.
No, she might just mess with your life. It's one of the reasons why I left.
You know how some kids like to break their toys, Kobo?
I got that already with the trials, but
Don't think you did.
You're having so much fun If you're having so much fun breaking your toys, are you going to let somebody else come break your toys instead of you?
Yes, it was enjoyable to watch.
Yes, because she likes
Okay.
to watch the toys be broken, and/or the toys refuse to be broken.
This
Okay.
isn't a good thing,
Got it.
Kobo, but you know, do you do
No,
you.
it's not. No, it's not
I'm
a
not
good
going to
thing.
stop you.
I'm only asking questions, so I know what I'm dealing with here. I mean, what if she decides to do something to stop the goddess of
let me
luck and chance, simply
let me
because the
put it
god
this way.
luck and chance is trying to get rid of this web? Looking for all the things, you know.
Let's put it this way, Kobo. If you wake up and you're covered in spiders that are biting you and hurting you really, really badly, if you smush them, worse things are going to happen to you.
Yeah, I got that already. I'm just looking at all the bases, you know. I do want this gone. I'm not saying I want to keep it. I just want to know everything about it. Got it. Okay. I can go now.
Well, you can always get rid of it now if you're that worried
Yeah.
about it.
Quite true. The tower
Actually-
itself is undetectable by lots of magicians.
So
Yeah,
you think
actually, if
maybe,
we're,
yeah, you think Lolth is, or, sorry, I didn't mean to say the name.
Again,
The
it's
spider
fine
lady-
here.
Yeah, but so the spider lady followed us up to the point where your tower gives protection. That's
For
actually
right
the best
now,
time
yes.
because that would actually be the best time because after we leave again, she'll be able to see what direction we went. But if we just went so far and disappeared and she never found out where we went, that might actually be better for us.
Potentially. Oh, she assumed you died somewhere. There is a difference between, you know, disappearing in the wilderness versus disappearing in a place you can't see.
Okay. But
By the way, I'm fine with
disappearing in the wilderness, she'd literally be able to watch us trying to dispel it and could try to do something to stop it. That's what I was getting at. So the tower here is actually the best place to try and do this.
Why I suggested it.
it's your tattoo. It's up to you.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Yeah, I hold my hand out.
You cleanse a coin to make sure it is able to get rid of it. Soon enough, you are honestly able to get rid of it. It is not that strong of a mark.
I can't upcast anything, so it's just a third level remove curse.
Yeah, it's straight up. That's all you needed.
Nice.
Okay.
It is gone after a bit. Verzian then states, right then, now then, I'm going to just send you as close as possible within 2 days of where that map showed us. I'm not going to be joining you because that is not my fight. No offense.
Wait, just to remind ourselves in the party, do we have any way to contact you?
I have
Uh,
sending.
I did ask if you had anything, and boom, just
No, I'm
mentioned
asking.
sending. So yes.
Okay.
Right, I need to place a stone on one of you to lose. He then hands Luce a stone. This is basically not a sending stone. This is a receiving stone. Once you send a message towards me, I can use my magic to locate you and, well, transport you all here. But you only get one chance. And if not everyone is within 5 feet of this receiving stone, well, not everyone's coming. No offense.
Okay.
Right then, so
thought
choose
it
the
was gonna
team
be a lot
wisely
harder.
on who's going with you to crash this wedding. Or apparently new wedding. Apparently this bride is fickle.
Wedding take 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, obviously the core. Do we think we're gonna need backup people, or do we think they're gonna be?
So yeah, we'll take
best.
Volt, Tripwire, Meki, Dacha, DL, Slash, and
The Z
Antidote,
team.
and we'll leave Brack, Boom, Kobo, Toulouse, and Gothos behind.
Really?
Sounds good.
I'm good. Have fun.
Yeah. Go
I
Team
thought it was
Glass
gonna be a lot.
Cannon.
Yeah, your
I
max
thought it
size
was gonna
can't
be a
be
lot.
more than 9 people, by the way. Otherwise, you quite literally can't. Not everyone can
Five
join.
of us.
That being the case, though, you can definitely do less
Healers.
than 9 people.
I'm
There's
thinking we
5
can
of
bring our
us.
core.
Yeah.
And Trip Volton Wire. We are
Well,
going to
okay.
a wedding.
5 of us, and then we probably want the healers, right? So that's 7. Then you have 2 more.
Well, I was thinking. Wait a second. Who are the 2 healers?
We
You said
have
it's
Antidote
Nom
and Nom Nom.
Okay, but yeah, I was thinking Trip Volton Wire because they are bards and they might be able to get us in. Oh, it's a wedding, minstrels, undercover.
They might be able to. They also might be able to help out with potential saves you might encounter.
So we can take 3 of them. Which healer do you want to leave behind then? Nom Nom or
Antidote.
Antidote?
Does an antidote like to pretend that it's not possible to cast magic?
You don't know that, but yes.
He likes to pretend that, but then also he's like, drink this. We can leave Antidote behind if you want. Antidote, give us a couple of vials or whatever if you want more samples.
And not only that, who would be better, Nom Nom or just asking them? So it's going to be up to the DM here. But
Nom Nom
who
has
would be
magic.
better?
Like once his magic is gone, all he can do is medicine checks to stabilize. Antidote has never used a magic spell in front of you other than Kobo and I think Toulouse. So you don't know if he can do healing magic, but he has, as long as he has ingredients, an unlimited amount of healing he can do.
Well, I'm not talking about healing. I was talking about these spores. I do remember have a tendency to curse us and give us mental problems that Nom Nom was able to eradicate.
Nom Nom is able to help out with that. An Antidote, probably not, but he can definitely do scientific situation at hand. He's not useless, but if you want the immediate, clear all, cleanse all, Nom Nom would probably be the better choice.
Yeah, and not only that,
Bring
Nom
Nom
Nom has
Nom.
his
So I think the
he has
Spore
his
Lady
divine
gave us
ability to
madness
protect all of us.
before.
Yeah, he also has that divine ability to protect us.
Yeah, and as
so that
long
we
as
can protect
Nom Nom
ourselves.
is safeguarded, you shouldn't have to worry about anything.
Has Nom Nom, have you been leveling him? Or is he still like level 7 or something?
I've been leveling him. Well, I've been giving him things.
You've been giving him stuff.
And then-
That's good.
And then perhaps we can help him decide what might be the best list of spells to have prepared.
No, that's still me. That is not your character,
That's
dude.
what I said. No,
You
that's why I
get
said.
nothing.
No, that's why I said we can suggest. It's like, hey, Nom Nom, you might want to have a remove curse maybe, and you as the DM controlling him would decide yes or no. But
You can suggest all you want. I'm not going to listen to it.
okay, never mind.
It's
All
basically
right,
straight up.
Nom Nom
If
has-
I was a PC, you'd be straight up saying, "Hey, Gothos, it'd be really great if you had this and this and this."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hey,
And I'd be
boom,
like,
it'd be really-
interesting.
So I'm playing your
Also-
character
Hey.
now.
I'm my old man.
Hey, Boom, it'd be really nice if you had scrying prepared so we can use it. And he might take that into account and prepare scrying.
Yeah.
Well, I would take that into account and not prepare scrying.
Because it's a ritual spell, right?
We're
What?
all
Right,
spiteful
no.
bastards.
Kobo, I understand what you're saying, and for sure you
I don't
can
have
suggest things,
scrying.
but they're their own player. They're their own character.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
I'm also
not
just
saying
being a
we would
smartass.
dictate.
You can definitely suggest
Yeah.
things, but ultimately it's my choice.
One of the team.
But yeah. So Nom Nom and who else?
The 3 band members, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think they would be very helpful with crashing a wedding and helping infiltrate without straight up crashing the gates.
5 core, 3 band brings us to 8. Nom Nom brings us to 9, which is, I believe, what you said, right?
Yeah, because if someone, let's say Antidote is here, say he brought 10, Toulouse's receiving beacon would not be able to, find Antidote, so he'd be left behind.
Yeah, that's bad. Let's avoid that. I guess that also means no picking up stragglers, folks.
That's why I did
Oh,
say
I
you
got
can
them
have less than
stopping,
9.
Okay.
So hopefully you're not making a mistake. Hopefully. But Rizian does look towards all of you. All right, then. It does seem you have your team in order. That being the case,
Yeah.
though, once you're there, I can't bring you back unless you use the receiving stone and, send me a message. So if you do have to let all of those people die, well, I suppose there's no other way. But preferably, we are trying to get rid of these demon lords. So at least helping not having the new wedding go through would be beneficial. AKA, crash that wedding and crash it hard. Make out with the bridesmaid if you have to. I don't know what Surface World people do to crash a wedding. I assume that's a bad thing.
Vizarian, it's hard to take you seriously when you display such a significant and insignificant concern for the plight of other people.
I genuinely don't know. Anyways, good luck. He begins to cast a spell. And Koba, before you head out, what do you say?
No, I was just saying okay as in agreeing with Gothos.
I thought you were going to say something else. Casting this spell, you guys begin to look towards him. He looks towards you. Right then, good luck. Don't die out there. He claps his hands, and immediately you all teleport out. And we will see where you wind up next time. You are going to get there. I'm not saying you aren't. But whatever else you encounter, well, we'll have to see what you will. Because the last time you went into a new place, well, you almost got in trouble and got kicked out. And did get kicked out. But, you
As long as
managed.
there's no overarching
Only a little
authority, we're going to be fine.
Yeah. But with a new potential husband and, an axe looking to potentially get vengeance, we will see if they will. Or we will see if you guys get into the next time as we end the session for today.